Yeah, welcome to episode 20. We got former Green Beret, retired Lieutenant Colonel. Yeah, Ivan Raiklin.
Woo!
Yeah.
Yeah.
Were they forcing a vaccine on you when you was in?
They tried.
Yeah.
Homie, don't play that.
Yeah.
I got the numbers.
Yeah.
I got their home addresses, their cell phone numbers. I got their vehicle type, make, and model. While they spy on us, the technology's there for us to investigate legally, morally, and ethically.
Yeah.
I need everybody listening in to listen and watch closely to what I'm about to say. All the evidence that's sent over to the DOJ to criminalize all 1,400 almost January 6 defendants, it originates with the U.S. Capitol Police at the direction of Pelosi and Schumer. I keep an eye on him too, both physically and digitally. And that's not the only person that my team observes physically and digitally. I got many people that volunteer. Hook, line, sinker. It's game over.
Right.
You're fucked. That's what happens. You see why they fear me and I don't fear them?
Right. Yeah.
My parents fled the Soviet Union from communism. That's one of the reasons why I'm in this fight, because it's at the front doorstep. Now I get to castrate them right there at the front door. They're scared. And now we're moving from poking the bear to ice picking the bear. That's the proverbial deep state. So far I've been scratching it like this. Now I'm transitioning to scratching it like this. So men that are listening, get the fuck off the couch and start coming after these fucking scum.
Yeah, welcome to episode 20. We got
a special man here today.
Yeah, Ivan Raiklin. Yeah, retired Green Beret, Lieutenant Colonel.
And Deep State Marauder.
No, he's not retired. He just started that job. Yeah. But before we get to that great man, gotta hear about our sponsor today, Optimal Human.
Over 90 ingredients. It's good for brain health, gut health, and PP health.
Yeah, all in one nutritional drink.
And it tastes great and is American made.
Yeah, and they sponsor your favorite two black guys. For some of y'all's only two favorite black guys. Go to optimalhuman.com/Hodgetwins and get 50% off.
Let's get to the Deep State Marauder.
Yeah. Yeah. Welcome to episode 20. We got former Green Beret, retired Lieutenant Colonel. Yeah, Ivan Raiklin.
Woo!
Yeah.
No.
How you doing, brother?
Wait. Yeah. I'm a touchy-feely kind of guy.
Yeah.
All right.
All right.
Hold up. Kevin
Yep.
and Keith.
There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So ready to do this?
Oh,
Yeah,
man.
Are we going to do a 15-minute show, or you want to do the deep dive? You want to do the deep dive 3 hours, or the master class 40 hours?
How about the hour and a half?
Okay.
Yeah.
90
Maybe
minutes.
to go longer.
Yeah.
But usually we prepare for our guest, and we start preparing for you. I was like, I can't do this shit in a day.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
You got to have like a diploma in this shit. Yeah,
dang.
you got to go really deep diving into
Am I
it.
hearing some micro weaknesses
Yeah.
coming from
Just a
YouTube?
little
What
bit.
happened to all the gains?
The Gates is coming back. Gates is coming back. I'm 50 now. Well, I'm going to be 50.
No. I saw. You were born on the Constitution Day.
Yeah.
Both of y'all.
Yeah.
September 17th.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know that, right?
Yeah.
Speaking of Constitution Day, I got a really worn Constitution pocket. One for you. Yeah. And then the one for you.
Well, you know this is authentic. It's
I've
got a
been using
white
that
man
for
on it.
years. Oh.
That's what I'm talking about. I love you. You know how I love white people.
Hey, man, that look just like a Tucker Carlson. With a wig on.
George does look like Tucker, huh? Yep.
So what do you think? I might be the lightest skinned black dude you've ever met.
Yeah.
He's red bone, huh?
You're a red bone.
Light skin.
Speaking of red, before we get into the episode,
Yeah.
as I was preparing for this,
That's going to bring up some bad memories.
as I was preparing for this, I don't know
Yeah.
where the camera's at, but
Yeah.
I live in Northern Virginia.
Yeah, we
In
are
an
native.
Yeah, you're native Virginia. I'm native New York.
Oh, okay.
Ooh, we'll get to the New York later.
It's got some Trump in him.
This right here, 2X spicy. I don't know how we're going to split this down the middle, but my goal coming in here, my number one goal, I don't care about anything that I say, is to break bread with you. Break noodles.
You mean break buttholes?
Burn butthole.
The last time I ate something similar to that, it came out hotter than when it went in.
Yeah.
It was hot.
Oh, it's coming hot. When I say spicy, I tweeted earlier, I think yesterday or today, said that, it was this morning when I was flying in and did a quick video. TSA let me bring this through.
Yeah.
They don't usually do that. We'll get to that too. So what do you think? We're going to break some bread?
Yeah, let's break some bread.
Towards the end of the show?
Yeah, of course.
Let's see if somebody can warm that up.
Yeah.
You had 3 that last time. You want to get all 5 of them in there?
Hell no.
Between the 3 of us?
Man, oh my God, that burnt me up.
More micro weaknesses I'm hearing.
Yeah.
Tell him, man, after I ate that, when I went to the bathroom, I felt gay coming out.
Ooh.
I got burned up, man.
Wait,
He came out hot and sweat.
I thought you used the other term. Remember you got censored by Elon?
Oh, yeah. What'd I say?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
I like to say this, that I'm a devout heterosexual. I don't do mandates.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Me either. I'm not down with the mandates.
I got to have both this, so.
So you, were they forcing a on you when you was in?
They tried.
Yeah.
Homie, don't play that.
Yeah.
He doesn't play
that's
that.
a Hobie the Clown reference. That
Yeah.
goes way back.
Yeah, this dude is
We're the
light
same.
skinned. This is a black dude right here. He ain't bullshit.
Remember that?
Yeah, man. Hobie the Clown.
WGN? WGN?
Yeah. I used to watch that
Chicagoland?
I used to watch it every Thursday, man, before I went to school, man.
We're
I
the
was in
same-
junior high.
We're the same age.
Yeah. Really?
Yeah.
Damn.
But you're old. You got me beat by 5 months.
Just gonna say 5 years.
5 months.
5 months.
Gonna
Yeah.
be the big 5-0
Yeah.
in
How you feel?
2 months.
I'm crushing it. I just got off in January. I broke my leg in 3 spots.
Really? How you do
Yeah,
that?
my ankle was up by my knee. I went tobogganing with my boys.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so we went like 30 miles an hour, flew up on a mogul down a hill.
Uh-huh.
And then as I was coming down with my son up front, Tim, it went to the right. My foot got caught underneath, and I went from 30 miles an hour to 0, courtesy of the tibia once and the fibula twice.
Did you cry?
Oh, no, I was like, I broke my leg. I'm not joking. It's broken.
Yeah.
And so one of my boys, I was like, hey, go to the street because we're going to vector in the ambulance.
Uh-huh.
And then my other son, I said, go ahead and grab my other shoelace so I can tourniquet it. So my training kicked in.
Yeah.
Right.
Tourniqueted my
Survival
leg
training.
above the knee because I wasn't sure if I was going to bleed or bleed out because I had 4 layers of clothes on and I didn't want to risk it because, if there's fragments or whatever, I didn't want to get circulating in the blood
Right.
or bleed out. So I wrapped it down there, cinched it. Then I was going to splint it. But I was like, nah, it's a little too painful to splint it. I'm going to go ahead and just lay it down on that same toboggan and then get dragged out to the ambulance. But that wasn't the bad part. The bad part is when they stuck me with ketamine in the ambulance.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
What was that feel
I
like?
must be allergic. No, I had a near-death experience.
Really?
Basically, you're done.
Yeah.
When I came to, I started yelling at the hospital.
Yeah.
If somebody puts ketamine in me again and I survive it, I will ruin you. I will absolutely ruin you. And one nurse says, "Oh, you're just saying that." I'm like, "What's your name?" Look me up, and I'm serious. My reputation is more important than
Yeah.
your survivability.
Yeah.
We'll leave it at that.
Man, I could see you play a supervillain in a movie, man. You got that temperament. You know?
You got that look. You got the eyes for it.
Yeah. Like, they should put you in a movie where you're a serial killer, and before you kill everybody, you give them a long speech. Kill me, just kill me. And with that $10,000 smile you got.
I'm gonna go medieval on your ass.
Yeah. Yeah, you're a very intense guy. Yeah.
I'm just warming
Have
up.
anybody ever told you that?
No, I'm just in cornflakes mode. You asked me to start with cornflakes, spicy, and then we'll move to Raisin Bran.
Yeah.
Get a little sugar in there.
Yeah.
And then we move along into, the banana peppers that they have at Subway.
Yeah,
Yeah, a little bit of tangy taste.
Yeah.
And then we move into jalapenos. For some people, that's it. That's all they can do.
Yeah.
That's just the beginning. That's the water before the droplet of water goes into a glass before you start your appetizer.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And then we move into what? Little habanero. And then we move into these noodles. Once we get into these noodles, you start feeling it.
Yo, yeah.
And then we go into Mexican Reaper. Pa que sepan.
Man, I'm kind of scared to eat those.
Yeah. But I do it for you.
Yeah.
You're a damn patriot.
Yeah.
And you light skinned and all? I do it. I do it only for you, though.
One last thing before we jump into this interview.
Yeah.
I think we already started.
Yeah,
Yeah.
But as I was studying, the one other thing I want to mention was you don't like BLM.
Oh, hell no.
I'm a strong proponent of BLM.
Yeah?
Yeah, look at the sticker on my iPad.
Yeah, Biden laptop matters.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what's wrong with Biden laptop matters?
No, I love that.
I love that BLM. The other Black Lives Matter.
Yeah.
Who cannot disagree with that statement? But it's gaslighting one-on-one.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. It was never about black people. It's about keeping black people thinking a certain way.
Yeah.
That's what it's about.
Yeah, dumb.
Yeah.
So anyway, I got to give a shout out to Garrett Ziegler, Marco Polo USA.
Mm-hmm.
Have you talked to him?
I don't think so.
yet.
He's the guy that wrote the Biden criminal syndicate laptop report.
Oh, really?
The 650 pages, 459 crimes committed by the Biden criminal syndicate.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he's got the details. He's got the receipts when it comes to them.
Yeah. How can somebody come across the email and say 10% for the big guy and think nothing happened?
That's a question for Tony Bobulinski. I
Yeah,
happened
yeah.
to sit right behind him in Congress
Yeah.
when he was testifying.
Mm-hmm.
He's got all the receipts. But
I
guess
mean-
what? You got toxic, feckless, stone-cold, coward, gutless simps that call themselves Republicans in the House
Yeah.
doing nothing.
Uniparty.
Yeah. I give them all the advice I can give them with all the receipts and all the legal framework. Yep. Lawyer, right? And nothing. But wait,
Right.
Thomas Massey a couple weeks ago finally was like, wait. And then Matt Gaetz also. How about the Speaker of the House pull back the criminal referrals related to January 6th
Right.
to include the ones for DJT, Peter Navarro, who else? Steve Bannon?
Yeah.
But no.
A lot of people don't realize how powerful the Speaker of the House is. He's one of the most powerful people in Washington. He's doing nothing.
I would say that the Speaker of the House is the most powerful person on the planet. Here's why. He gets to determine how $6+ trillion is spent into the global economy. No other human being can do that. Elon Musk can't even do that.
President can't do it.
$6 trillion.
Right.
There's not a single human being that has that influence.
Yeah.
And he gets to appoint his own House Sergeant at Arms, which Mike Johnson didn't. He's keeping legacy Kevin McCarthy's Sergeant at Arms.
Right.
Guess what he can do? He can look over to a Sergeant at Arms and say, hey, buddy, that contempt of Garland, of Hunter Biden, of Jim Biden, why don't you do a live stream swatting raid
Right.
under the inherent authority of the House Sergeant at Arms
Yeah.
at the direction of the Speaker of the House?
Yeah. Why do you think Nancy Pelosi, Speaker of the House, refused 10,000 soldiers during January 6th?
Oh, man, you want the master class.
I want the light-skinned version.
Man, let's go there. January 6th.
I think she's the most crucial component that the reason
You're
why
right.
that happened.
And MSNBC, when they interviewed Trump about that, they was like he had the authority to do that.
Yeah.
January 6th, that's a longer discussion, but I'm going to start with this. It was a instigated, facilitated breach of the U.S. Capitol conducted by the bicameral leadership of the legislative branch of our government, meaning the Speaker of the House is the one that manages and runs the joint session on January 6th because it's in the House chambers.
Right.
She gets to order her Sergeant at Arms, Paul Irving at the time, to conduct law enforcement activity or not, or facilitate the refusal of any outside support and protection of the Capitol, right?
Right.
That's her decision.
Yeah.
So when she refused on 6 times, remember Chief Sund, the former Capitol Police Chief? By the way, a lot of the people I talk about, I talk to them. I've already done this investigation. I'm trying to get the House Committee on House Administration, Subcommittee on Oversight, headed up by Barry Loudermilk. I'm trying to get them to what I've already investigated through their mechanisms. And they're finally starting to come around to it because you started hearing about it. Bottom line is Nancy Pelosi is the one that led the Fedsurrection because she has the authority to do so. If you want to get all nerdy with me, Title II, United States Code, Chapter 29, 2 sections. 1967, Paragraph B, and 1979, Paragraph B.
Damn.
What does it say in there? I'll summarize it. 1967, Paragraph B talks about the jurisdiction, meaning the area where they can conduct law enforcement and the discretionary authority that U.S. Capitol Police has. So if I want to criminalize both of you, all I got to do is have a nexus with the U.S. Capitol, that jurisdiction. If you weren't in the grounds on January 6th, then I'm going to get you for seditious conspiracy because you talked to somebody that knows somebody that knew somebody that went to January 6th. That's how they got Enrique Tarrio, right? He didn't even enter he wasn't even in D.C. that time.
Right.
But the end goal for all of that was to politically weaponize against President Trump.
Right, exactly.
But it all goes back to 2014, fellas. Should I start there?
Yeah, yeah.
All right.
The spying on his campaign, right?
Oh, it's before that.
Oh, okay. Let's get deep.
Ivan Raiklin,
Let's get
25 years in the national security apparatus.
Wow.
Intel, Green Beret, lawyer. What else? We'll call it that. Yeah.
Don't forget light
Former
skin.
military diplomat. Light skin, real light skin. So anyway, I was on the Ukraine crisis team in 2014 when Russia came in and the little green men, right?
Right.
And then we had the Ukraine crisis going on. I was one of the senior analysts providing my analytic assessment to the National Command Authority to include your buddy Barry Hussein.
Barry Hussein killed Papa.
Oh, man. It took,
Kevin kind of slow now.
man,
I'm sorry,
yeah,
I'm a
hold
little
on.
slow.
I think you need a drink. What kind of drink is this?
Let me give you some optimal nutrition.
Yeah, you need some
Optimal
optimal.
human.
Man, he's slow rolling. Whew. Let me slow it down for you.
Hey, Kevin, who's Big Mike?
Woo!
Pretty good, right?
Not too bad. Be careful, though. I don't usually drink any of this sort of stuff.
Oh, really?
I might be bouncing off the walls
Yeah.
before the end of this episode. All right.
You're probably going to need it after eating them hot noodles.
Hey, how come no one's prepping them for us?
Yeah. We can get them prepped about 30 minutes in.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. Let them warm up.
Yeah, because we're transitioning to Raisin Bran.
Right.
Yeah, I got you. Good stuff.
Yeah,
Good
yeah,
stuff. 2014, I was on the Ukraine crisis team, and I was providing my analytic assessment of what was going on. While I was also doing that, I like to read a little bit every once in a while. And as I was looking at things in my own personal time, I was looking at what was going on Russian TV, on Ukrainian TV, on the interwebs, on Twitter, right? All these other platforms. Because, by the way, I speak 5 languages. I can also read. So
No
Russian
shit.
and Ukrainian I can read and understand.
What?
Yeah.
5 languages.
You want to test me? Por favor.
That's what I call white privilege.
Los gemelos. Hey, light skin
Wow,
privilege.
5 languages. That's amazing.
See
What
there.
what are the languages?
Mexican Reaper?
Yeah.
No, Espanol. Yeah.
Espanol.
So Spanish.
Yeah.
A little
I'm
bit
trying
of
to learn
French.
that. Yeah.
With a name like Ivan, come on.
Yeah.
Mexican.
Yeah.
No.
Maybe Jesus. Got some Russian? Yeah.
Yeah. You just colluded with the Russia. Careful, Adam Bullshift. You listening in?
Yeah.
Or Eric Swallowswell is going to say something about that, right?
Right.
What's his name? Who else? Jamie Ratskin? Yeah.
Yeah.
So anyhow,
Man, you put Trump to shame with your acronyms.
Man.
You need to get with the Trump campaign.
Hold on. So we got English a little bit. I still dabble. I dabble in English a little bit. Yeah. A little dab.
Yeah. Do the dab.
What did I do? English, Spanish, Russian, a little bit of French, and then أتقلم عربي أيضا.
Arabic.
أيوة.
Wow.
Naam, as they say.
Yeah.
I came in here thinking I was going to say no, but it's hard.
Yeah.
It's no. It's real hard. Anyhow, Where were we at? 2014. We're not
Right.
we're not moving too quick here, fellas.
Yeah, no, we're going slow as hell. Slow but methodical.
Gotta warm it up. Warm it up.
Yeah.
Yeah, crisscross style. Warm it up.
Oh, you know about crisscross, huh?
Hey, I used to wear my pants saggy.
Crisscross. This is crazy.
I'm well read, well listened.
Yeah.
Well
There you
read, well
go.
listened. Yeah.
Man, I've been
I
in the
forgot all about crisscross.
I've been in the game as long as you have.
Yeah.
5 months shy.
5 months shy. I think he blackened me off.
No, but when I speak Spanish, you know how
Yeah.
some people they got the Lopez or Garcia last name, and then
Right.
I start busting out in Spanish with them.
Uh-huh.
They're like, "What? I don't speak Spanish." I'm like, well, what are you talking?
Yeah.
And they say, "No, I'm a coconut, white on the inside, brown on the outside."
Right.
And I'm like, "Well, I'm reverse coconut,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
White on the outside, brown on the inside. Come test it."
Yeah.
Relax, gentlemen, relax. Back to our Deep State lesson.
Yeah, here we go.
All right, so 10 years ago, you had Mike Benz on, right?
Yeah.
He
Mike
talked
Benz.
about all the censorship industrial complex, right?
Yeah,
And all the systems that are at play.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I like to go a little bit more depth and detail.
Right.
And the reason why I can is because I spent time in the system, 25 years in the system,
25,
knowing
yeah.
all these people, right? And so 2014, as I observed what happened in Ukraine, and then I started to see that the John Brennan, the former CIA director,
Yeah.
was doing a coup in Ukraine.
Mm-hmm.
I guess America does that. Other countries probably try to do that too.
Yeah.
Anyhow, he ushered in failed Vice President Joe Biden, right,
Mhm.
for a meeting. And then failed Vice President Joe Biden has a meeting with Petro Poroshenko, who's the Ukrainian president, that was just coup d'etat into his position by John Brennan.
Mm-hmm.
And he has a meeting, and that meeting probably sounded something like this. I got the answer to you for developing your economy. And he presents his beloved Hunter to sit on the board of Burisma. And guess what he did? You got to listen. Sit down for this one if you're listening.
Yeah.
Why did they hire him? Because of his subject matter expertise. You know what his subject matter expertise was?
What was that?
Look up the term due to his olfactory senses. Olfactory meaning the sense of smell.
Yeah.
His left nostril had the ability to sniff out oil fields for Burisma. And his right nostril had the ability to identify natural gas fields. And that's how failed Vice President Biden presented the smartest guy he knows to the board of directors of Burisma,
Yeah.
the natural gas company of Ukraine. You think I'm joking?
No, I believe everything.
It's all true.
I'm just loving your delivery.
Maybe I need to go on tour with you
Yeah.
as the mini-me.
Hell, I'm gonna hire you to write some jokes for me. You didn't get in charge of the Trump campaign. These acronyms you coming up for people? Yeah.
I haven't even started.
Yeah.
It's time to give up our new giveaway. It's a Dodge Ram power truck, and we about to do something we ain't never did before. It's a camper. Not only you get a brand new truck, you get a camper with it too, and $10,000 in cash. Hey Keith. Yeah. We've given away over $2 million in trucks and cash and prizes. We give them back to the people who support us. Instead of giving money to Facebook to advertise this stuff, they censor us anyway. So I say, you know what? Incentivize our own people to already support us. It's a win-win for everybody. Go to officialhodgetwins.com. Anything you buy from the site gets you automatically into the win. Yeah.
No purchase necessary. Void where prohibited. See official rules for details.
Yeah.
So we were talking before we started, right? You're like, hey, I got this big CommieTube channel. Why are you on CommieTube? You're probably on Fakebook also, right?
Yeah, we're on Facebook too.
Well,
Insta Garbage? You on Insta Garbage?
Yeah.
I'm on Instagram.
Oh my God!
I got
Even
my ex, my
even
Rumble,
after Ben's interview, you're still on Insta Garbage. What about? I mean, these are surrogate platforms of the FB Lie.
Yeah, I know.
I'm gonna get into the individuals that are behind it all. Names, if you give me the time.
Oh, you got all the time. You got the platform, you got the floor.
Got CommieTube, got Fakebook, Insta Garbage. What are we missing? That's the big tech, right?
Yeah,
What about
yeah.
the legacy stuff? You had any hit pieces done on you by like New Woke Slimes?
Yeah. New York Times.
New Woke Slimes,
Oh
right?
man,
Yeah,
we
they
was getting on our Facebook at one point. Shit,
Man,
you not.
I'm
I was getting- we was
gonna
getting-
call it DHS
Yeah.
because you're mispronouncing. Remember they were going after people for malinformation, misinformation.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
They're gonna go after you for mispronunciation. It's called fake book. But anyway,
Yeah. At one point, our Facebook account,
thank you.
we was getting about 50 million views.
Oh
a
yeah,
day
you were everywhere.
everywhere. We had a video about. We did a video
Black Lives
about
Matter?
Black Lives Matter. Black Lives Matter. What's the title of that?
Black
video?
Lives Matter is a scam. It had like 100 million views.
Yeah.
They took the video down.
Overnight, Huntington Post, New York Times. He wrote some article about me.
Huffington Compost,
Yep.
New Woke Slimes.
Huffington Compost,
Yeah,
New
yeah,
York
yeah.
Slimes.
Woke
And the
Slimes.
next day, our views was
Yeah, it
virtually
was like a
over.
Bitcoin chart. It was going up, then fell off
Yeah.
a table.
Yeah, so it's
Yeah.
same people.
Yeah.
Raw sewage. You heard of that one, right? Raw sewage.
Who that?
Huffington Compost. Raw sewage.
Oh.
Look it up. That's the name of the publication. I had a couple people hit me up this week trying to get me to make a comment about their hit pieces. I don't play hit pieces unless it's me on the sending end of it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I may be small, but dynamite comes in a small package.
Hell yeah.
Yep.
It's small. Blow
mindset.
your ass up.
Like Nino. You heard of Nino? Nino's
Brown?
Corner.
Yeah.
The boxer.
Nino. I thought you were gonna say Nino Brown from
Nah.
New Jack City.
Hey, we're still in Raisin Bran.
Right.
Okay, relax. You're jumping
Right,
ahead.
right,
You're getting into the banana peppers over here.
Right. I gotta slow down. I'm going too fast.
Easy. Rule number 1,
Yeah.
always look cool.
Yeah.
Rule number 2, refer to rule number 1.
Yeah.
That's it. 2 rules.
Two rules. That's all
Keep
you
it
need.
easy.
You keep it easy.
Keep it easy, man.
So where were we at?
I don't
We
know.
still in 2014?
Yeah.
Censorship industrial complex.
Yeah.
Right.
All right. So Biden, right?
Mm-hmm.
The barisma,
Mm-hmm.
the right nostril and the left nostril.
Right.
There was his
There we go.
expertise.
Get back on track.
That was his expertise.
That was his expertise, subject matter expertise. So Hunter goes over there. By the way, just a little context. In April of 2014, so March to June, I was on the Ukraine crisis team. And as I'm observing this, the Washington Compost, right? Washington Compost is another publication I wanted to refer to.
Right.
They published a bunch of articles, and one of them was, Hunter just got picked up and commissioned to be in the reserves, right? Naval reserves. How many drills did he do in the naval reserves?
I didn't know this.
1.
Really?
And you know why? Well, first he got in because he had to get 2 waivers. One was because he was a little too old.
Yeah.
Guess who helped him with that waiver?
Hmm.
The guy that helped him with the second waiver.
Yeah. Daddy.
You can't go in if you got a whole rap sheet of drug use, right?
right.
Right.
But that is the subject matter expertise that helps you out in the private sector in Ukraine, doesn't it?
Yeah.
But anyway, he did 1 drill, pissed hot on the urine test.
It's hot as hell.
Yeah,
Yeah.
probably hotter than the noodles.
Hell yeah.
I mean, it was just
Yeah.
high as a kite.
Yeah.
And he was thrown out. Yeah, his daddy. This is disgusting. This is an embarrassing situation that we're in this country.
Yeah.
So fast forward.
Mm-hmm.
2014, 2015 rolls. Oh, wait, who was the director of the Defense Intelligence Agency in 2014?
Name skips my mind at the moment.
This dude right here,
Oh, how can I forget that?
General Flynn.
Joe Flynn.
Yeah, so I was a line analyst at the Defense Intelligence Agency. General Flynn was the director. And I'm sitting on the Ukraine crisis team, pushing up stuff that gets, he sees it at his level and higher. Barry Hussein sees some of it too. Yeah. And guess what happens?
No, what happened?
He says, General Flynn testifies in July, I can't remember, it was July 2014. And he says, guess what? ISIS ain't a JV team. What did Barry Hussein say? He looks over at his director of national intelligence and says, time to have that guy resign because he's speaking truth to power.
Yeah.
That was unacceptable
Yeah.
for me because I saw it from the inside, right? Anyhow, I highly recommend this movie because I'm in it.
Yeah.
Live
Nah.
the truth, whatever the cost.
That's for you. That's for y'all.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah. That just came out. I was on tour with him for a couple months. April and May, we traveled the country. We were here in Vegas, but I didn't see you guys there. What happened?
Man, I must have been
Getting some gains, right?
Yeah.
Working on them gains.
Yeah, I must have. Or I've been out of town. I need to have General Flynn on the show.
Why don't you? Let's give him a call.
Yeah. Yeah, go ahead and call. Oh, that'd be
See
cool.
if it'll work. Let me see here.
Got him on speed dial.
Hold up.
Siri, call General Flynn.
let me text him first. I'm on Hodgetwins.
Your two favorite Negroes.
Can you take a call while we record? Stand by.
Stand by, Marine.
Hey, man, if I wasn't a Green Beret, I would say, hoorah!
Yeah.
But because I am, I can't be doing that.
Yeah, you got some coloring books you can give me, right?
Yeah.
Crayons?
Hold on. Man, you're getting ahead of things over here. You just
I
want to
knew
get
that was coming.
jalapenos, huh?
Yeah.
Check this out. Constitution. So anyway, part of what I did in 2014, 2015, 16, 17, I culminated from 2018 to 2022. I taught national security, the whole national intelligence community, what that looked like, roles, responsibilities, missions, structure, people, etc. The whole intel community, the whole national security apparatus. So this is kind of like an outline of who's who, right? Whether it's Article 1 branch of government that has oversight, armed services committees, intel committees, Article 3, the FISA court, right? And then Article 2, all 18 agencies, the State Department capabilities, as well as the DOD, right? Writ large. So I taught that. I taught a national intelligence course. I taught the intel support to multinational operations. And I taught, what was the other one? Intel analyst course. That was a 2-week course. So the people that I was teaching were students that are going to be intel analysts within all those agencies.
Wow. Okay.
FB Lie.
FB Lie.
CIA.
CIA.
The Navy, of which you were part of.
Yeah.
The Marine Corps.
Yeah. Department
Right?
of the Navy.
Exactly. So all these different students, right? So I'm not the dumbest guy in the room. Okay?
Yeah.
Not the smartest, but definitely not the dumbest. So anyway,
That
part
would be
of that,
Hunter.
Yeah. The dumbest man I know. So anyhow, as I taught some of that stuff, I may know a little thing or two, but I only rely on open source, publicly available information that I put together in the last 24 hours because it's in my personal time. I can provide you all this. So one of the documents that people rely on as an intel analyst, I'm getting to something here. I'm getting to something. This is the serious part of the interview.
Okay.
This talks about Intel Community Directive 203, analytic standards. So there's a methodology behind conducting intelligence analysis, right? At the strategic level. And in that, I want to highlight a few things. When you're an intel analyst, this is what is expected of you. John Brennan,
Guidelines.
Chris Wray, Jim Comey. Guidelines, standards. There's 5 of them. Objective. Okay? Need to be objective, not subjective. 2, independent of political consideration.
That's very important.
Analytic assessments must not be distorted by nor shaped for advocacy of a particular audience, agenda, or policy viewpoint. Okay. Number 3, timely, meaning the assessment needs to be timely so that decision makers can make the proper decisions to mitigate risk, mitigate threats. 4, based on all available sources of intel information. We're going to talk about that in January 6th discussion. Hold that, put that in your pocket.
Okay.
And then the last one, implements and exhibits analytic tradecraft standards. And there's subcomponents. So you got to properly describe your quality and credibility of your sources, data, and methodologies. Make sure it's accurate, complete. Determine whether there's possibility for denial and deception, right? The currency of the info. And lastly, you got to assess the source, access, validation, motivation, possible bias, and or expertise, such as the olfactory expertise.
Right. There was no expertise.
I'm seeing it. He's slipping over here on me. You didn't sleep last night, huh?
I ain't been sleeping for like the last couple of years.
Let's get motivated, man.
There was no expertise.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Where's your drink?
It's right here.
Before I continue. I know that was deep.
Yeah. Well, it's a great
How
deal.
deep was it?
It's real deep, balls deep.
Nah, I don't do balls deep. I go neck deep.
So whenever anybody's conducting an investigation, it's a great deal of ethics.
Yeah.
Got to be unbiased, got to be impartial, got to be objective.
Yeah.
Yep.
Of course,
Damn.
that's not going on.
Well, look at the
right.
whole trial about Trump going on right now. The impeachments, none of that was objective or impartial.
Everything that we're going to talk about what's going on today with President Trump goes all the way back to what they did to General Flynn. Same people.
Same people.
It's the same damn people. Let's start with this.
Same circle.
So, remember Rick Grinnell, acting director of the National Intelligence? He used to be the ambassador to Germany for Trump, President Trump.
Oh, okay. Okay.
So he was acting director for a little bit. During his time, he declassified some documents. This one's a pretty spicy one.
Declassified for a reason.
Now we're getting into jalapenos, baby.
Okay. It's getting spicy.
So let me move this. It's getting in the way. I need some room.
Hey, man, you need some room.
I need my workspace here.
You've been teasing us the whole show.
Man. So, check this out. These are the 39 people that he declassified that unmasked General Flynn. Now, what unmasking is that they went ahead and collected on someone, and there was an American person that was involved in that signals intelligence, if you will, communication, that certain individuals can go ahead and unmask to identify the name of the individual.
Okay.
And this was related to the conversations that General Flynn had with Sergei Kislyak. Remember him? He was the Russian ambassador to the U.S.
Okay.
as the transition was coming in. Now I'm fast forwarding to December, January of 2017. Okay? So let's take a look. Remember my deep state target list?
Yeah.
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 Here's a category right here.
Okay.
So the 39 individuals that unmasked General Flynn illegally, unlawfully, solely because of political grudge.
No, they used deception to investigate him? Don't tell me that. I don't believe that.
Remember 2016?
Yeah.
Remember who was controlling the RNC at the time when President Trump was basically running the boards in the primaries?
Who?
The RNC chair was Reince Priebus. Remember these names?
Your brain is like an encyclopedia.
This dude is
A
AI.
supercomputer.
I'm just slow rolling in.
I like your method. You teasing the hell out of everybody.
I used to teach for 3.5 years.
Oh, you did.
Okay, and then I applied that
ChatGPT.
teaching skills.
Yeah, this is ChatGPT right here.
Yeah. I like the way you're bringing out each piece of information, because a lot of people are ignorant to a lot of these things, and you methodically showing each piece by piece, and you leave them breadcrumbs along the way so people can follow and understand how.
No, because there's a lot. I
Understand the
spent
corruption.
10,000 plus 20,000 hours on this. Yeah, massive corruption.
You did what Congress should be doing.
Oh, easy. Some people call me the people's was it liaison to the House of Representatives. The people, the delegate at large.
Yeah.
Representative at large.
Right.
But to go back to this,
Uh-huh.
so July 2016 is when the convention was, right? Basically 8 years ago, next month. As we go into the RNC convention now, this all I'm going to talk about now really is relevant going into it. Because in 2016, they were going to have a floor fight potentially to make sure that Donald Trump did not secure the nomination in 2016. And who's the they? You got Paul Ryan, who's the Speaker of the House.
Yeah.
He's a very known and deliberate recipient of a syndrome called TDS.
Yes,
Right?
definitely.
And then you got another one, Reince Priebus, who was the chair of the RNC. Another person that I want to introduce is the Senate Majority Leader at the time, good old Mitch McConnell.
Good old Mitch.
I wonder if there was
Turtle
you know
face.
what? I wonder if him and Hunter, because on X and Twitter you see like Cocaine Mitch and all that. I wonder if he was doing that same stuff with Hunter.
Hang it out together, huh? Cocaine mix.
Yeah, it was. I mean, Hunter's inhale is probably like this.
Yeah.
Mitch is probably like, if that. Anyway,
This is
I'm
crazy, man.
I'm a hyperventilate.
I
over
thought
here.
this started when he was, running for president. It goes way farther back than that. That's crazy.
Wait, you want the 50-year version? I thought you only wanted the 1.5 hour.
Hey, if you can.
I can do 40 hours on this.
Yeah, I bet you can. I bet you could do 2 weeks on this.
Yeah.
We could do the 14
80-hour course.
Yeah, we could, but my producer's got to catch a flight at 3.
That's not my problem. That's his problem. You can catch the next flight because I'm going to be bringing heat. He's going to want to catch the next flight. But anyway, let's get back. Let's get back into it. So, Reince Priebus is from a place called Racine, Wisconsin, right? Mm-hmm. He used to be the chair of the RNC. Before that, the chair of the Wisconsin GOP. Before that, the chair of the 1st Congressional District GOP in Wisconsin. And guess what congressional seat Paul Ryan represented? That same one. Mm-hmm. And guess where the Speaker of the House, the longest standing Speaker of the House, an American Republican of any state, Robin Vos, represents? That same area. And guess what? When you look a little bit farther back, Paul Ryan's chief of staff, Reince Priebus, and Robin Vos all went to Whitewater College together. But guess what? Not only that, they were college roommates. Yeah.
That's crazy.
You see how this plays out? Mm-hmm. Imagine what text messages and emails would disclose over the last 8 years amongst those three.
Yeah. Right.
I think of the term seditious conspiracy.
Yeah.
But I get ahead of myself.
Yeah. Take your time.
I'm going to take my time.
I'm loving the foreplay.
Let it marinate a little bit.
Yeah, let it marinate. Yeah, people listen to this podcast. Oh, I'm not leaving. This is getting hot.
Should we go to commercial break? Not yet?
Not yet.
Okay.
Yeah, give a little bit more. Let's age them a little bit more.
So you want more than the tip?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
A little bit more.
More than tip.
How deep?
Neck deep.
Well, hold up. We got to first go balls deep before we go neck deep.
Yeah. And you got to get the head in there first. You can't skip none of those. Yeah.
That's right. So think back then. Imagine you two, you're Donald Trump, 2016 July, in the RNC, going in the RNC convention. And you and Corey Lewandowski are vetting 4 vice presidential candidates. Number 1, the Republican Governors Association chairman, Mikey Pence.
Yeah, good old Mike.
Mikey PP. Number 2, Chris Christie. Remember him?
Wow.
Doughboy?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. You remember that Bridgegate scandal he had back in New Jersey?
Mm-hmm.
Did you hear about that?
No, I forget.
No, so you don't want to ask because you don't want me to go another hour into this whole story. I got you.
Hold on to break your concentration. Hey, now I know why. You remember Mike Pence during that debate with Kamala?
Yeah.
Remember that fly landing on him?
I do.
That makes a lot of sense now.
It does.
Yeah.
What attracts flies?
Shit.
Yeah. So anyway.
And demons.
All right, so number 2 guy that was being vetted for his VP pick was Chris Christie. His lawyer during the Bridgegate scandal, when he was you can look it up, was his attorney was Chris Wray, the current FB Lie director.
Wow, that's crazy. Wow.
Now you see why Chris Christie was running for president?
Yeah.
Maybe?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Crazy.
So let's keep going. I'm not going to go too deep in that one. Just a tip on that one.
Yeah, just
a
tip. Just a tip.
And then the other ones is, so that's 2. Newt Gingrich was the 3rd one, right? Former Speaker of the House from Georgia. All 3 of those you would consider like, hardcore establishment Republicans, right?
Yeah. Right.
And who was the 4th one that was being vetted? I'll let you guess. You got a DVD in front of you.
Oh, Flynn.
General Flynn was being vetted to be VP.
He had been the best choice, of course.
But guess what? Obama nominated him twice to be the Assistant Director of National Intelligence for Partner Engagement and then the Director of the DIA. And then he spoke truth to power. You think the Republicans trusted him?
Not the Unipart.
No.
Yeah. He's a barrier.
Can I get a no?
No. Hell no. He's a barrier. He's a Lego they got to knock down.
Yeah, so they had to knock him down. How'd they do that? Squeeze him out first by not having him as VP and then tee up their beloved Uniparty handler of President Trump,
right?
Mikey Pence.
Yeah, Trump was just surrounded by sharks.
And so what happens next? That's when things happen. As soon as President Trump candidate Trump becomes the nominee and then becomes the nominee, within 2 weeks. Actually, first he picks Pence, and then within 2 weeks of that, John Brennan, the CIA director, and Jimmy Boy Comey at the FB Lie launched the spying operation on candidate Trump, General Flynn, Carter Page, George Papadopoulos, and Paul Manafort. I'm wondering, remember Paul Manafort was doing some business deals in Ukraine also?
Right. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I wonder if he was getting his hand in Hunter's pot. Cocaine. You see why they probably went after Paul Manafort? Maybe.
Right.
I'm just speculating here, my brothers.
Right. Connecting the dots. Yeah.
So, fast forward. November, election, 2016. December, January. And then they're like, ooh, General Flynn's going to be the National Security Advisor. Can I go rated R?
Oh, yeah. Go XXX if you want.
Ooh. I'm sure they're thinking, the people on this list, they're like, oh, we're fucked. We are fucked because he's going to uncover all of our spying operation and who's behind it because he knows the system better than anybody else in the Trump world.
Right.
Dude's been in it for 33 years.
Right.
He was the director of the DIA. So let me drop a couple of names that were the names that unmasked General Flynn. You might recognize him. James Comey. Right there. Who's the next one?
John Teff.
John Teff. This is where I got to bring in my background. So there I was back in 2007 in Tbilisi, Republic of Georgia, not the Fannie Willis, Georgia.
Right.
Okay?
Not the Fannie.
Fannie.
Yeah, Fannie Willis.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was the assistant army attaché, military diplomat in 2007, serving out there. Guess who was my ambassador?
Who?
John Teff. And then guess where he goes after that? So in 2008, Russia goes after Georgia, right? Remember that little incursion? And then 2014, guess who was the ambassador in Ukraine when that was going down? I'll give you a hint. John Teff. Yeah. And then he later becomes the ambassador in Russia, Moscow. All coincidence.
Yeah, it's just a coincidence.
So I'll keep moving. Samantha Power.
Oh, man, you turning me on.
Easy now. Another one is James Clapper, Director of National Intelligence. John Brennan, CIA Director. And then wait for it. I'm going to use some big words.
Right.
Penultimate person that I'm going to introduce in this stack, meaning the one before last. Sarah Raskin. You know who that is?
That's the wife of
Say it. Say it.
what's his name?
Yeah.
I keep thinking.
Oh, yeah. I'm going to go DMX on you right now. Art. Come on.
What's that?
Jamie Raskin.
Jamie, yeah.
Congressman from from Maryland. Sarah Raskin, his wife, unmasks General Flynn. This is back in 20. Let's take a look. 14 December 2016.
Mm-hmm.
You see why they fear me and I don't fear them?
Right. Yeah.
I got the numbers. I got their addresses. I got their vehicle type, make and model.
Yeah.
I got their home addresses, their cell phone numbers. Mm-hmm. While they spy on us, the technology's there for us to investigate legally, morally, and ethically.
Yeah.
So I said that was the second to last one.
Yeah.
Guess who the last one was that unmasked General Flynn?
Wow. Joseph R. Biden.
The failed vice president.
Wow.
In order to understand what's going on today with the censorship, in order to understand who's coming after you with the censorship, me and you, who's going after Trump right now, it all starts with General Flynn.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
It's the whole basis to everything.
That makes sense what Trump said. He said, they're not after me, they're after you.
This right here, I'm gonna give you all this. You ain't gonna read it.
I'll read it.
You will? You promise?
Trying to educate myself. Yeah, we patriots.
I got highlights.
It's going to take
me too much. It's too much.
It's a lot.
No, I'm going to get comments like, oh, you were disrespectful to Hodgetwins. You said they weren't going to read it. Man, all them haters.
Yeah, people too sensitive nowadays. Yeah.
But I was a little too aggressive. So I'll preempt it.
Man, I was with the Marine Corps, man.
And almost apologize. For
Okay,
that.
there you go. Almost. That's good enough. That's good enough. That's good enough.
Bring it back. Bring it back.
Bring it back.
All right, so remember, they're trying to label us all these different things, particularly y'all. Because, I mean,
deplorables.
Man.
White
What else?
supremacists. Well, we're the blackface of white supremacists.
Yeah. Kind of like Ralph Northam. Speaking of which, you think Ralph Northam, he never answered. Was he in the hoodie, the KKK hoodie?
Dude,
or
I
was
think he was
in
blackface. I think it was the blackface.
You think he was blackface?
Because
they had a nickname for him. They called him Coon Man.
It was in the yearbook. Coon Man.
They called him Coon Man. It was in his yearbook, so I bet you he was in the one.
How do you spell nickname?
Coon. C-O-O-N.
And I what?
C-O-O-N.
No, nickname.
Coon Man.
Okay.
Yeah. I guarantee it's the guy in blackface.
Yeah.
Guaranteed.
That's why he's
Nickname.
I don't know. I think it was the hoodie.
You think it was
Probably.
Because think about it. What's worse, blackface or hoodie? In today's culture or at the time.
Man, both of them are bad, but the hoodie's like probably worse.
That's why I think it was the hoodie.
Yeah.
Because if he said if it was the blackface, he would have said, "Oh, I wasn't the guy in the white hoodie.
Yeah.
That was me in blackface," and that ain't so bad.
Yeah.
That's why.
Well, look at the guy, Justin Trudeau. He got reelected when his shit came out. I'm just like, oh, he was just joking around.
Oh wait, are you one of them election fraud deniers?
No, hell no.
No, election fraud denier.
Yeah.
Right? They say election denier. No,
Right.
I'm an election. You're the election fraud
denier.
denier.
Right.
Yeah.
There you go.
So back to we're moving along. 2019, baby.
Yeah. 2019.
So
Well, we getting there.
check this out. I'm throwing some breadcrumbs here.
Yeah.
In 30 May of 2019, the FB Lie's Phoenix field office writes this document called a bulletin. And in that bulletin, it tries to label us into different groupings that I'd never heard of until this came out. What's one thing that they try to label us and try to disparage people in the movement?
Threat against democracy.
Yeah.
What's that?
Hate
What's
speech.
that letter after P?
P letter.
A, B, C, D, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P, Q. What, queer?
You gonna go there? All right. Anti-government, identity-based, and fringe political conspiracy theories very likely motivate some domestic extremists to commit criminal, sometimes violent activity. Remember, I used to teach this stuff, right? 3.5 years? So I may have a little critical eye when I read a bulletin or an intel report or an analytic assessment or document. And whoever wrote this, where's the camera? Right there? If whoever wrote this, punk, I want you to listen closely. Phoenix Field Office, 30 May 2019. I want somebody to tell me who wrote this. Direct message me. Send me an email, info@raiklin.com. I got to open everything. Just send carrier pigeon. Go to Congress. I'm in the halls of Congress. You want to hand it to me. Here's why. So we talked about the analytic standards, right?
No
what about this
deception,
one?
Being partial.
Let's be a little critical of this one. So the sources that they used, this thing is usually done in a document. It's called a source summary statement. It kind of synthesizes all the sourcing that they used to come up with this analytic assessment. Let's look at it. So this jokers, analysts over at the Phoenix field office, basically say, hey, we used other law enforcement agencies as part of our sources. Okay. FB Lie investigations. What do we know about FB Lie investigations as it relates to January 6th? Pretty legit?
Nah.
Yeah.
I don't think so.
Yeah, I think they was deeply involved.
But I'm saying that if they're using FB Lie investigations, that already automatically gives me a lesser credibility on this.
Right.
Next, they're doing documentary sources consisting of plea agreements. You seen a lot of those plea deals that were forced and coerced?
Right.
Remember what they tried to coerce General Flynn into a guilty plea?
Right.
Why? Because they basically said, we're coming after your son if you don't plead guilty. And we got the Mueller investigative team with an unlimited budget to do so. What say you?
Right.
So that's not too credible evidence.
Right.
And then they go into establish human sources with indirect access. I don't know, but to me, when somebody says indirect access, that's kind of like,
Hearsay.
woo! Bam.
Yeah.
I couldn't have said it better in fewer words.
Yeah.
Right. How can you have an indirect source hearsay?
Was it Kevin?
Yes, Kevin.
Man, Kevin's one-upping you over here, Keith. Man, you got to be flexing here.
Yeah,
Well, I'm the brains of the operation.
I see, and I hear. So anyhow, indirect. And then they go into, we had a liaison source with indirect access. What is that called?
hearsay.
Yeah. And limited history of reporting. Okay.
I
so
bet
you don't
all
even
your
know.
students got straight A's.
Oh, yeah. And a member of the public, just some random dude, a member of the public
Right.
with indirect access. So some random dude from public is
Yeah.
giving you hearsay of whatever he wants to say. And not only that, it's his first time reporting to the FB Lie officers.
And they don't have a name, and it's like, because you're allowed to, face up to your people that's attacking you. How can you attack and protect yourself if you don't know who's making the statements?
Yeah.
Exactly.
It's like going around due process.
It's kind of like when Eric Cheramella and his two attorneys, Andrew Bakaj and Mark Zaid, went ahead and created that whistleblower scheme against
Right,
Donald
yeah,
Trump with the
yeah.
second impeachment hoax. You're
Yeah.
getting ahead of me because that was
right.
later on. But yeah, I'm going to bring that in.
Yeah.
Yeah, Eric
Yeah.
Cheramella. Yeah, I got you. I know where you live. Wink. And then it says for the same guy, random dude, indirect access, reporting the first time whose reliability cannot be determined. But yet, check this out. That was the sources that they used to come up with this. Oh, man. FBI assesses anti-government, blah, blah, blah. And then they use very likely confidence levels, right? High confidence. These assessments are made with high confidence. If you were my student,
high confidence.
you would have to do the course over again
Yeah.
Yeah.
twice.
Yeah.
Because based on your source summary statement and what you're giving for your probability and confidence level and the actual analytic assessment is complete polar opposite.
Yeah. It's not credible at all.
It's not credible at all.
You're weaponizing the judicial system.
So wait, was I going to bring up something else? I think I was. I was going to take a look at a little bit more detail of the sources that they used. George Washington University program on extremism. Everywhere. Snopes. You heard of Snopes?
Oh, Snopes.
They use Snopes a couple times. Wikipedia. Look, Snopes. You see that? Zoom in, baby.
That's crazy.
Is that legit?
that is not credible.
And then what about this?
They use Snopes as a source?
Yeah. For their open source. Watch this.
FBI is relying on Snopes.
That's like one of your witnesses,
wait.
Tyrone Biggums,
Oh, wait. It's like using,
a crackhead.
no, what's his name?
It's like using Hunter as a damn witness.
I forgot how to pronounce his name. DHS. Just bear with me here. I think it's Juicy Smollier.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
It's like using him as a source.
Right.
Woo. And then another one that they use is New Woke Slimes.
New York Times.
Yeah. All right, I'm gonna keep moving.
That is
You're
crazy.
slipping over here.
Crazy.
Anyhow, you get the point. Vice is another one.
Right.
Yeah. So they're
Vice.
basically saying, so when you have low confidence in something, that means it's generally means the info's credibility or plausibility is uncertain, and reliability of the sources is questionable. Would you say that
Yeah.
is very questionable?
Very
I
crazy.
would,
It's almost like it's creative writing. It's an op-ed. Everything's opinion based, and you can't even verify anything.
The credibility
Now.
of it.
Let's fast forward to 2020.
2020. The big year.
We getting close.
Trump's going to shock the world.
We're halfway there.
Yeah.
How we doing on time? Yeah. Wait, let's in cadence.
Hey man, when you had like making
No,
love
on the count
to
of
a
three.
woman, how long do you go? Like 3 hours before you stick it in her? Oh, that's it.
Oh yeah, man.
But you probably
So-
should have left this shit for the end. We could be dying.
Damn. So hold on, don't taste it yet. I know you're drooling
Taste it.
over there, Keith.
Look like it's soaking in fire.
Oh, that smells so good.
So speaking of what you just said, hey, you got to work on that foreplay, baby.
She's wet. She's so wet she's drowning. Just stick it in me.
Public statement on the Hunter Biden emails. Remember about October 19th of 2020? Politico, another one of them.
Yeah,
Politico,
yeah,
right?
Yeah.
You heard of them, right?
Yeah, Politico. Yeah.
Yeah, so anyway, Politico. Oh, we never did call him. I'm waiting on a text back.
Yeah, okay.
So Politico is writing an article. And guess what they write? Remember the 51 spies who lied? Remember that article?
Mm-hmm.
In the New York Post? Yeah? No?
I don't think so.
I got you. I got you. That's why I'm here.
Yeah.
Folks got you, baby.
So there were 60 people that signed this document saying that the Hunter Biden laptop had all the earmarks of a Russian info operation. Remember
Oh,
that?
yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
So there were
That's not
60 of
propaganda.
them.
Yeah.
51 of them actually put their names to the document. 9 did not. I've identified one of those 9 so far, but we're working the other 8 because some of them are still in the system, I bet. When you look through the 51, wait, we got to set this aside because we
You
can't.
can smell it, can't you?
Yeah.
Smell good.
Do me a favor. Just look at some of them names and look at what their former responsibilities were.
Yeah. Jim Clapper, former Director of National Intelligence, former Undersecretary of Defense for Intelligence, former Director of the National Geospatial Intelligence Agency. Man, this dude got some titles.
Yeah.
Big time.
Now let's take a look at the next one. Mike Hayden, former Director CIA. Next one, Leon Panetta, former Director CIA. I almost mispronounced it again.
Leon, I know he black.
Lenny. No,
Yeah.
he's not.
It's a white man named Leon?
Yeah. His son is a congressman.
No shit.
Yeah, one of them domestic terrorists. I mean, Democrats.
Right.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Democrat.
So, and then we got John Brennan, former Director
CIA?
CIA. You mispronounced it. Come on,
CIA.
kid. Where you at here? So as you go down the list, you start to see a trend. Mostly CIA.
Right.
What? And then you see another dude, David B. Buckley, former Inspector General, CIA, former Democrat Staff Director, House Intel Committee, former Counter-Espionage Case Officer, U.S. Air Force.
Dude's at an espionage.
Why do I bring his name in? The other ones people know because they were former directors, this and that, right?
Mm-hmm.
This guy, David Buckley, he became the staff director for Mike Pence's beloved Liz Cheney and Nancy Pelosi's beloved Benny Thompson's January 6th Fedsurrection Cover-Up Committee. Again, this was the staff director that the Uniparty deployed to go ahead and run the J6 committee last Congress.
Yeah. Majority of that footage
But that's
was
2021.
lost.
We're getting ahead of ourselves.
Yeah. Majority of that footage was lost. Or they can't find it, right?
Oh, ask that in about 3 minutes.
Okay. I'll wait.
Got to go in chronological order to connect the dots.
I'll mess it up.
No. I can change it up.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll free flow.
Yeah, you flex.
Acapella.
Yeah.
Yeah. Battle rap.
Yeah. You did some battle rap? You definitely blacker than I am.
No, so did they get rid of some of the footage? I was watching some of the footage at the that the Oversight Subcommittee gave access to people before they started putting it out on Rumble when they put that contract together with Rumble. And you could definitely see some of the camera angles. Just didn't have video footage on there. I'm wondering why there's no video angle of Ashley Babbitt being murdered by Michael Byrd, U.S. Capitol Police officer that got promoted to captain.
Yeah, because when I looked at that video, he wasn't specifically targeting her. He was talking to a person that's trying to come
That's what
through.
it looks like.
Yeah.
Because she was just standing there. I don't
She's
know
just
why.
standing there, yeah.
Now, you shot a weapon before, right?
Yeah.
You saw the video. At a minimum, best case scenario, manslaughter.
Yeah.
Negligent manslaughter.
Yeah, because she wasn't the target.
He had his finger on the trigger as he's rolling around. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah.
Completely untrained at a minimum.
Yeah.
But he had problems before.
Yeah.
I'm sure his HR personnel file has like all these different demerits of leaving his weapon in the
Right.
you looked him up, right?
No,
Leaving his
no.
weapon. So one time he left his service weapon in the Capitol Visitor Center where kids and everybody had access to it.
That's
He just
crazy.
left it in the stall.
That's incompetence.
Well,
Yeah.
I would imagine a lot of those cops up there are.
Yeah.
I mean, when you
Because
go
why
up
would
there-
you shoot a woman just standing there? I know she's there. I know they're
What happened
being
to
an-
escalation of force?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You could have just basically said, hey,
Yeah.
one, there were no commands. Okay, let's just assume he did do a command.
Right.
Next thing you do is, hey, 100-pound woman,
Right.
back up.
Right.
Right?
Right. You should have rather shot the guy that's coming through the door.
Yeah,
if you're going to shoot somebody.
And then
But
you got your own U.S. Capitol police officer on the other side, fratricide.
Right.
I mean, it's ridiculous.
Yeah, it was stupid. That was totally uncalled
Anyway,
for.
I got the PhD level on January 6th. Hold up. Because I'm almost there. I know it's slow, but we're getting into the spicy realm here. Now we got the noodles.
Look, everybody, inflation is out of control, and this problem's only going to get worse, regardless of who is the president, because our government is going to always overspend.
Our government, everybody's in there. Look, y'all, can't have all your eggs in one basket, especially when you got people like Sleepy Joe holding the basket in the White House.
Yeah, Sleepy Joe. That's why me and Kevin are always diversifying our assets. That's the kind of diversity, equity, and inclusion we like.
Yeah, makes sense, right? One of the safest ways to diversify is with precious metals.
Yeah.
The value of silver, gold has been steadily rising, while the value of the American dollar has been falling. Because what?
Inflation.
Because our government sucks.
Now, y'all, purplebar.com is changing the game, making it easy for all of us to protect our financial futures. Everybody can do this.
Even if you're liberal. Look how cool these gold and silver bars are.
They cool,
They
man.
sealed and safe. Patriotic engraving on there, too.
Yeah, look real nice. Not only that, the bars are perforated so they can easily break apart and can be conveniently exchanged if the dollar collapses. So we all need to have backups on backups.
At least we can rely on these good white folks at prepperbar.com to come up with these easy alternatives.
Thank God for white people. Prepperbar.com. Get your own gold and silver bars today. Secure your financial future. Yeah.
Okay, so as we're looking through this list, you heard some of the names, right? So these are the same people, the 51 that covered for the Biden laptop, the Biden criminal syndicate, right? David Buckley being one of them. And the same people that went after General Flynn are the ones that are protecting the Biden criminal syndicate.
Yep.
Okay? So if these are mostly former CIA, and then all of a sudden you got these two main intel assessments. I used to teach intel analysts how to do these, right? The first one, COVID origins, huh?
Yeah, where did that shit come from?
Let's take a look. Because guess what? Fake book didn't let you say what I'm about to say. That's in the intel community's own assessment.
That's crazy.
Because why? Because the FB Lie didn't want you to know about this. Now, I'll get into that.
The instructed face.
All right.
Fake
So,
book to share it.
yeah, absolutely. So check this out. Key takeaways. Updated assessment on COVID-19 origins. Should be called CCP-19. Fauci-funded lab incident.
Right.
Origins. One intel community element assesses with moderate confidence. Remember, moderate. That the first human infection with SARS-CoV-2 most likely was the result of a laboratory-associated incident. Now, they don't say if it was deliberate or accidental. They just say it was an incident, right?
Right.
Probably involving experimentation, animal handling, or sampling by the Wuhan Institute of Virology. Okay? These analysts give weight to the inherently risky nature of work on coronaviruses. So what happened if you said that online?
Oh, yeah.
You
Your
got
account is
banned.
gone.
You got banned.
Back then, yeah.
Yeah.
No doubt. First offense.
They tried to
banned.
tell us it came from bats.
I would quote this, and I would get censored.
Right.
This is from
Yeah.
the Director of National Intelligence publicly facing declassified, unclassified document.
Yeah. It's a verifiable fact.
And so, but what did Criminal News Network, MSLSD, right?
Right.
Faux News,
Fake
Paul Ryan's little outfit, right?
Right. Mm-hmm.
Compost raw sewage, New Woke Slimes, what did they say? The National Intelligence Council assesses with low confidence that they didn't say low confidence, but it's in there, that the origins of the infection was most likely caused by a natural exposure. Bat soup, right? How about some noodles for that, huh? Am I going to get some CCP-19? Let me lick this just to check it out. Oh, yeah. Oh, y'all going to be hurting for this one.
Yeah.
Oh, I know you can be hurting. You're sweating already.
Oh, fuck.
Dude, I just licked it.
Is it that spicy?
Whew. We might need a
Just
refill.
lick it.
Woo! Not yet, not yet. That's going to be our closer.
Mm-hmm. Definitely.
Man, we're all drinking at the same time. In cadence, drink.
Yeah, I remember those days.
Exercise. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3.
Yeah.
1, 2, 3. Halt.
Attention.
All right, check this out. So, we get it, right? Mm-hmm. This was in the own assessment. But guess who wrote the assessment and started pushing the first one, which says, 4 intel community elements with the National Intelligence Council assesses with low confidence the bat soup theory, right? Mm-hmm. Zoonotic, they call it. Well, the National Intel Council is staffed by mostly former CIA analysts. Mm-hmm. Most people don't know this. I do. Next, the second assessment. This is important to the whole censorship industrial complex. Mm-hmm. So when I say mostly CIA officers, who do you think's kind of influencing the analytic assessment? Possibly. You think it could be good old John Brennan?
Oh, yeah, that's a
You
possibility.
think it could be every single one of the people that provided cover for the Biden criminal syndicate laptop that has ties to the CIA?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a good answer.
Yeah,
That's what I assess too.
indirectly.
Now, speed dial, right? Yeah. So let's go to this one. It's called what? Kevin.
National Intelligence Council, foreign threats to the 2020 U.S. federal elections.
But what did they tell us? What did what did the FB Lie surrogate organizations known as Twitter 1.0
Yeah.
and Fakebook and Insta garbage beneath that, what did they tell us?
Russia collusion.
Russia.
And
Russia. That's how Trump said. Russia.
Bro, should I break it out in Russian
Man.
for you?
Let them know.
Я говорю по-русски.
That's clean right there.
Clean Russian right there.
Yeah, that's clean.
So fresh and so clean. Don't apologize. I'll make your daughter cry. I told you.
You told us you was
This dude
light-skinned.
is light-skinned, man.
You light-skinned, I'm telling you.
Oh, man. So anyway, let's kind of go in the highlights. You know, you don't want to read the whole thing because I've done it. Mm-hmm. All right, key judgment. What do they say? Russia. Key judgment 3. We assessed that Iran carried out a multi-pronged covert influence campaign intended to undercut former President Trump's re-election prospects. I agree with that assessment. You know why? Because they have the motive and the means to do so. What's the motive? Their number one domestic terrorist, Mr. Soleimani. Mm-hmm. Remember Tim Kennedy mentioned him?
Mm-hmm. Oh, Soleimani?
I think Tim was it? No, Tim mentioned another dude.
I love when Trump, when he killed him,
Yeah,
he went running and crying the whole way like a dog.
yeah, and then he injured our dog, right? Remember the canine that was in there?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Anyhow, so they want revenge, right, for what happened to their guy, right?
Right.
Because he's the equivalent of Mark Milley
Mm-hmm. Right. Makes
for
sense.
Iran.
Mm-hmm.
Well, at the time, Mark Milley. We'll get into his treasonous activity shortly. That's 2021. We're almost there. Anyhow, and then they talk about key judgment 5. We assessed that a range of additional foreign actors, including, we talked about Lebanon earlier, Hezbollah, Cuba, and Venezuela, took some steps to attempt to influence the election. So you telling me Iran is trying to wiggle their way in and influencing our elections? Russia's doing the same thing. And Hezbollah, Cuba, and Venezuela are too. But the CCP, our number one biggest strategic competitor and threat, is doing nothing? Come on.
I seriously doubt that.
I got to quote the failed vice president. Come on, man.
Come on, man.
Come on, man.
Come on, man.
I don't buy that shit. Do you?
Nope.
I'm going to go rated R.
Yeah,
Again.
Let's do it.
What dumb motherfucker thinks that China didn't try to influence the 2020 election? It's all the election fraud deniers, right?
Mm-hmm.
And every single person that manipulated the big tech and the mainstream media landscape to try to convince and coerce the American psyche that it was the most safe and secure election ever in the history of humanity. Never before has the human race experienced such a pristine endeavor as the 2020 election.
Right.
That's bullshit.
Pristine. Yeah.
Pristine. Clean.
Clean. So clean.
So fresh.
So fresh and so clean.
Ooh, slow motion for me.
Slow motion for me.
You said
Slow motion for me.
Ooh, I like it like that. All right, so you telling me this is what they say. Key judgment 4. So as I read this judgment, think the 39 the 51 spies who lied, right? That said that the Biden criminal syndicate is not a thing, even though they had the laptop for over a year when they published that. They being Jim Comey and the FB Lie, Brian Alton, the intel analyst. We'll talk about him later. All right, so it says, we assess that China did not deploy interference efforts and considered but did not deploy influence efforts intended to change the outcome of the U.S. presidential election. Now let's juxtapose that, compare it to the Director of National Intelligence at the time, John Radcliffe. He says, remember, this is CIA analysts that are tied and connected through link analysis, one of the structured analytic techniques that I used to teach.
Right.
As I look and deep dive into these people
Right.
and their relationships.
Yeah. You know the tactics. You taught it.
Yeah. So from my this is from the Director of National Intelligence. So while they put this out, they were supposed to give out an assessment on foreign interference in our elections 45 days after the election. They slow rolled it. It was supposed to be out December 18th of 2020. They slow rolled it. And here's what happened. The Director of National Intelligence finally is allowed to publish the day after the fraudulently certified election, January 7th of 2021. The Uniparty allowed him to publish it. And this is what he writes. From my unique vantage point, as the individual who consumes all of the United States government's most sensitive intelligence on the People's Republic of China, I do not believe the majority view expressed by the intelligence community analysts fully and accurately reflects the scope of the Chinese government's efforts to influence the 2020 U.S. federal elections. Meaning, he doesn't agree with this.
It's bullshit.
Because he's seeing more than they do. And he knows, remember, the analytic standards,
Yeah.
objective,
Yeah. It's No not deception.
political, keep that out. He says this. China analysts were hesitant to assess Chinese actions as undue influence or interference. These analysts appeared reluctant to have their analysis on China brought forward because they tend to disagree with the administration's policies, saying in effect, I don't want our intelligence used to support these policies. This behavior would constitute violation of Analytic Standard B, independence of political considerations. So, John Brennan, you know that Eric Chiramello, the whistleblower, used to work for John Brennan?
Right. Damn.
Yeah. All right, almost done.
That shit is wild.
You want to take a break?
Nah, I want more.
You want more?
I want more.
Ooh, you want pain? Yeah. Woo! I'm gonna break this microphone.
Yeah.
X gonna give it to you.
Yeah. X gonna give it to you.
All right, so check this out. So, who at the FB Lie? I already talked about the CIA, right? We named names?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
We done?
Got
We done
names.
with the CIA?
Yeah. Got receipts and everything.
Okay. Now let's go to the FB Lie. This is where your censorship comes into play. Remember when Elon Musk purchased Twitter? And then, did you go to the GitHub website where it lists all the people that were talking about that it was an illegitimate election.
Right.
And I'm sure you guys were on that list
Yeah.
too.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
most definitely.
I was number 18
Yeah.
of individual accounts. You got me beat?
I can't remember where.
Bring it. Bring it.
I think you might have been over us. Yeah.
I mean, who was number one? DJT, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
of course,
easy,
yeah.
easy. General Flynn, I think, was number 2, and then you had some other ones like Sidney Powell, etc.
Mm-hmm.
Big names. Mike Lindell beat me out.
Oh,
But
did he?
Of
Yeah.
course. Come on.
You should have been number 1 or number 2 at least. Yeah.
Well, no, I will say this. So going in, remember in 2018, just a little quick aside, when the Democrats took over the House, Nancy Pelosi becomes Speaker. Well, guess what district she represents? San Francisco.
Yeah. Dumbest people on earth.
Guess who's in San Francisco? The San Francisco field office of the FB Lie. Guess who else? Twitter headquarters. Isn't that intriguing, huh?
Yeah.
Little connect the dots.
Yeah.
And guess what else? Wasn't Kamala Harris's comms team also working
California.
at Twitter 1.0?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they were.
Yeah.
So anyway, just
California. I wish that shit would just have that earthquake and it just break off.
just throwing some
float away.
details out there that some people forget. So in 2017, late fall of 2017, the FBI it says here, and this is on their own website. I'm using their own sources.
Right,
This ain't my words. This is their words.
Yeah.
The FB Lie is the lead federal agency responsible for investigating foreign influence operations. In the fall of 2017, Director Christopher Ray Epps, he becomes Ray Epps on January 6th.
Yeah.
Right.
He doesn't change his name until then. So I'm still in 2018 land. My bad.
What was his
Ray.
title?
Christopher Ray, the FBI Lie Director. He still is the FBI Lie Director.
Damn.
I confuse you because
Ray Epps.
Ray Epps
Yeah.
Yeah.
is that dude
Yeah.
on January 6th.
Oh,
okay.
Get
Okay.
it? Ray Epps?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
But this dude's name is Chris Ray.
Oh, okay.
So because he's the FBI Lie Director,
Yeah.
Right.
he doesn't become Chris Ray Epps, as I like to call him.
Yeah.
You know, my little nicknames for people.
Yeah,
Right,
yeah,
right.
Until
yeah.
that Fedsurrection
Yeah.
on
Right.
January 6th.
Yeah.
Right.
I know, man. I'm teasing you, man. You're getting wet on me. You're getting wet on me. Say it. Say it.
I'm feeling gay.
Man, it's going to be a good audio podcast, too, I think.
Oh, bad.
I'm going to have to listen to it myself.
Yeah.
All right. So it says here, in the fall of 2017, the director of the FB Lie creates this thing called the Foreign Influence Task Force. Why do you think he made that? Remember in 2016, there was this operation called Crossfire Hurricane, which was the op to spy on Trump,
Yeah.
General Flynn, Papadopoulos, Carter Page, and all that. The way they started it off was, here's how it worked. A lawyer by the name of Kevin Kleinsmith, what's up, bud? Kevin Kleinsmith, a lawyer, puts together an email that he manipulates asking, hey, CIA, why don't you go ahead and tell us if Carter Page is reporting back to you after his trips to Russia? The CIA counterpart says, yes, he's reporting back. Everything above board, by the book. What does Kevin Kleinsmith do? He flips it and changes the email to say, no, he's not. Kevin Kleinsmith puts that into the analytic assessment of Brian Auten, the supervisory intel analyst of this Crossfire Hurricane op, so that he can then get the senior ops guys, Joe Pientka, and up the chain to Jim Comey, to sign off, to present to the FISA court the illegal spying operation on Carter Page.
It's
With
deception.
fake, false, deceiving, manipulated evidence.
He just broke one of
At
the
a
golden
minimum,
rules.
he defrauded the FISA court.
Fabrication.
But I'll ask this. Do you think he defrauded the FISA court, or do you think that, imagine you're the Chief Justice of the Supreme Court,
Okay.
and you get to appoint every single judge on the FISA court, and imagine you hate Trump,
I did. Wow.
and imagine the judge that you appointed that also is probably aligned with you because you appointed him,
Right. Of course.
right?
Makes
Imagine
sense.
he's pretty close with the agents that are requesting for you to spy on Donald Trump to get great dirt on him and General Flynn and Carter Page, through Carter Page. You think that was defrauding the FISA court, or could it have also been defrauding the FISA court and you kind of wanted to sign off on that FISA warrant to create dirt on good old Big Daddy T,
Yeah.
General
Sedation.
Flynn?
Sedacious.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's my assessment too. With
Yeah.
moderate confidence. Moderate.
Moderate. Yeah.
Gotta shoot.
I
Gotta
can't-
choose your words.
I can't
wisely.
share all my. If I shared all my sources,
Yeah.
it would be a high level of confidence. But then I would have to back that up with the sources that I have. And if I did that,
Yeah. Put them in an awkward.
yeah, it's gonna get real spicy for them if I do that.
Yeah.
Spicier than those noodles.
Gotta keep it cool.
Yeah,
Gotta take your time.
Hopefully that day comes.
got to take ice baths every once in a while.
Yeah.
You know, cold plunge. All right. So anyway, so this organization is created. Why? Because it institutionalizes the whole Russia false narrative.
Yeah, legitimizes it.
It legitimizes it with the creation, and Mike Benz goes into it right in overview. I'm just giving you the names that of the people that are behind it. Remember, Chris Wray, Chris Christie's lawyer during Bridgegate, and oh by the way, guess what else? Chris Wray was a former partner at King and Spalding, a law firm down in Atlanta. Now we're going over to Fannie Willis territory.
Oh,
Right.
man.
Not the Republic of Georgia. We're going to Fulton County. Okay.
Right.
So what's the importance of King and Spalding? Well, guess what? Christopher Wray, not Epps yet. Chris Wray, a partner at that law firm. Guess who else is a partner down there? Sally Yates. You know who Sally Yates is? The former acting attorney general at this time when the spying op was going on against Carter Page, General Flynn, President Trump campaign. All the same people. And guess who became, I need y'all to zoom in on this one. Guess who became the Foreign Influence Task Force section chief? What's her name?
Laura E. Denhor.
What?
Demolo. Yeah. I need my glasses.
Man, you getting, man.
I need some.
You
I
getting
need
the
some
fitty.
supplement for
You
my
need a supplement.
for my eyes.
We got refill? We got,
Yeah, we get refill.
man, I need a refill.
She my type too.
So check this out. Laura Demlow. So what happens to Brian Auten? So he defrauds the FISA court, involved in the illegal spying operation on the Trump campaign.
Using deception.
He's then moved up to be the supervisory intel analyst for this organization, the Foreign Influence Task Force. And she chairs it. And guess what they do from that position?
What?
They reach out to Mark Zuckerberg. Remember Joe Rogan had Mark Zuckerberg on, and he's like,
Yeah.
why'd you censor the Biden criminal syndicate laptop? Oh, a couple of FB Lie agents reached out to us. I wondered the names of those FB Lie agents.
Yeah.
Was it you, Brian? Was it you, Laura? Or was it somebody else
Yeah.
from the San Francisco field office like Joe Pientka? Or maybe Elvis Chan? I think it was probably Elvis Chan. No relation to Jackie Chan, but, you know, still,
Yeah.
Elvis Chan. Yeah. That name Elvis Chan comes up. Remember, have you heard about the Missouri v. Biden lawsuit, the censorship lawsuit? It's come out basically before the Supreme Court. It's exposing the censorship industrial complex through the Attorney General of Missouri. Well, one of the guys that they questioned was Elvis Chan. And in there, he's basically spilling the beans because now he's under oath.
Yeah.
Got
Can't-
to.
Yeah.
Yeah, and these names come out. Am I a lawyer? Do I like to look at stuff
Yeah.
in detail?
Right.
You're definitely a lawyer.
I dabble.
Yeah.
You
I
damn.
dabble. So anyhow, the question goes, wait, what? As I'm trying to explain this in my personal capacity as a private citizen, Ivan Raiklin, not as a contract instructor or in the reserves as a lieutenant colonel at, guess what? While this is all going on, guess where my reserve unit is? Because I finished up my command in Texas. By the way, Tim Kennedy was where he was. I think he's still in Texas National Guard. I was in the Texas National Guard commanding that unit down there in San Antonio. After that, I then picked up a position in Silicon Valley as a technology scout for the Army in the reserves.
You was
in
at
the
ground zero.
San Francisco and Greater Bay Area.
Yeah.
When that unit was just stood up. I started developing relationships to see who wants to work with the Army Reserves with their capabilities in AI, mixed reality, gaming, to increase our national security posture. That was my reserve responsibility. You think I may have developed some relationships?
I think you might have did some networking.
Yeah. Made some friends.
Sources,
Yeah.
methods,
Strategies.
no comments. So as the censorship starts, and we start to feel it, right? You start to feel it.
Yeah.
When did you start feeling it in Fakebook?
Right when
Right after the November 2018 elections, midterms?
Yeah, when he was rerunning for
Yeah.
president. again.
Leading up to his presidency, yeah. That's when we start feeling it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's because Nancy, like I said, Nancy Pelosi becomes the Speaker of the House. She controls the House.
Yeah.
Now they feel they got unlimited ability to just violate that First Amendment. Mike Benz gives you that historical from 2014, outward facing, then it turns in domestically with this FITF, and then the DHS creates the CISA's equivalent. Guess who's running CISA? Cyber Infrastructure and Security Agency, part of DHS. Chris Krebs. Remember Chris Krebs? I got all their names.
You got all the names.
Chris Krebs was the guy that said it was the most safe and secure election ever.
I bet.
Guess who hired Chris Krebs? Your boy Mikey Pence. No joke.
Mike Pence.
That's
Mikey
crazy.
P. Man, I got it. I'm only giving you like the
He
superficial layer
doesn't
here.
sound like a damn vice president. I mean, he sounds like an informant.
So hold up. You're thinking like, what's this stack? I ain't gonna go in the whole stack. I'm only gonna go in a little bit. So as I'm starting to investigate and report, 2020 rolls around. Pandemic, right? The Fauci-funded Wuhan Institute of Virology lab incident and subsequent destruction of America's economy. Who was the coronavirus task force at the White House?
Fauci.
Who was his boss?
Was it Pence?
It was Pence.
Yeah,
What?
that's right. That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was running that.
Yes, sir.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
Now you starting to
Yeah.
see why things played out the way they did?
Yeah, Trump's just surrounded by
Mike Pence ran the CCP-19 task force. Okay? And guess who were Mike Pence's employees, if you will? Direct reports. Anthony Fauci and Debbie Birx. Now you see why it played out the way it did and the whole cover-up scheme. I forgot to mention, 2001 to 2013, Mike Pence was a congressman for 12 years. 10 of those years, he was on the Judiciary Committee. When he was a freshman, he was one of the co-authors of the Patriot Act and the Homeland Security Act, creating the Homeland Security Department and extending the FISA court from 7 to 11 judges. You make your own.
The Patriot Act was
Inference.
some bullshit just to take away our rights.
Yeah. So as they start to, once they legally steal the election, right? Then they start to investigate me. I got receipts. I'm gonna show them to you real quick. So
They're going to pull it out.
when you investigate me, DOD, DOJ, DHS, I investigate you. Remember, I used to teach. I know the system better than most of the people that are investigating me. Actually, I would beg to say that I know it better than all of them.
Yeah.
I know that sounds humble. Because it is.
right.
I like to say I'm the most humble man ever in the history of humanity. Anyhow, check this out. So this is what happened. January 6th rolls around. I exposed the illegally conducted election because 39 states ran their election due to COVID measures, which violated the election laws of that state, thus violating, check it out, Article 2, Section 1, Clause 2 of our Constitution. Yep, lawyer Ivan's coming out right now.
Yeah.
And so, check this out. Since its inception, I've been on TSA PreCheck and I've been on the Clear program. You guys, right?
Yeah,
Familiar with both?
we use that too.
I've used it since it was created. And so next thing I know, August 17th of 2021, a couple days after I attend the Cyber Symposium Summit that Mike Lindell hosted, right? Where we're basically looking at, how do we remedy the coup, the illegal election of 2020. I get a message from, Customs and Border Protection. There has been a recent change to the status of your application, meaning you're no longer a trusted traveler, punk.
Really?
Oh, you want to call me a punk? Now the game begins. But before that, in June of 2021, remember Benny Thompson sends over a note to Ali Mayorkas saying, hey, buddy, you might want to look at people that we want to politically target for this J6 cover-up committee. And since he's the chair of the Homeland Security Committee at the time, why don't you go ahead and look at people to include Ivan Raiklin, start harassing him, and start to find information on him until you can find a crime or conjure one up. I had to repel 3 different attempted entrapments. Had to call local law enforcement for them to come off me. And after 20-plus investigations of me, which I'm going to show you some of the evidence for each one, they found nothing. Kind of sounds like DJT, General Flynn. Watch this. That's one. So if DHS is looking at me, I got evidence of DHS Maine, Office of Intel and Analysis. Remember, I know these structures. So if someone is investigating me, I'm going to know not only what organization or department, division, section, I'm going to know the individual who's doing that because I know people in the system for 25 years.
Right.
You fucked with the wrong dude, motherfuckers, because I'm coming for you now. Okay?
Hey, y'all, we interrupt this damn good podcast for an important message.
This is a damn good message.
9 out of 10 Americans aren't getting proper nutrition. So even though most of us are fat, the food we're eating is missing essential vitamins and nutrients.
We'll get to the same shit y'all are, eating whatever we want, caught up to us too. But now we got the solution, Optimal Human. It's the magic elixir. It's got over 90 ingredients of key vitamins and minerals that are impossible to get through your average diet as an American. It tastes good too, damn good.
I bet y'all got some kind of gut issues where you get random stomach pains.
Got your butt leaking?
You got joint issues with your back tweaking out. Maybe you got some cardiovascular issues where your blood ain't pumping where it's supposed to pump. You know?
Oh, I get it. Can't get it up.
I'm telling y'all, it's because of the lack of essential nutrients in your diet. That's why we're trying to help. Where else are you going to get organic reishi mushroom for your brain?
Turmeric for your joints, probiotics for your gut, and beetroot for your blood flow in that one drink.
Yeah,
and it still tastes good.
It tastes damn good. And it's got over 90 ingredients for whatever else that might be holding you back. But the best part about it is Optimal Human is 100% American-made, Patriot-owned company that sponsors your 2 favorite black guys. Probably your only 2 favorite black guys. Go to OptimalHuman.com/Hodgetwins and get 50% off your first month. And more importantly, get those key essential nutrients all up in your body.
Yeah, make your body great again.
Yeah.
You heard of the Quad S program?
Mm-mm.
It's called the Quiet Skies program. When you're put on the Quiet Skies program, that means you are considered a almost domestic terrorist. And that means that they get to Fourth Amendment rape your ass every time you travel.
Because of the Patriot Act.
Yeah. Thank you, Mike Pence. So, Quad S, what does that mean? Remember, I got TSA pre and clear.
Yeah.
You know how that roll.
Yeah,
you roll
they already investigated you to get that.
Yeah.
And while I'm traveling, I got my TSSCI as a lieutenant colonel in the reserves.
Right.
And I'm traveling with my military ID card.
Right.
What happens? I try to check in online through my phone. Nope, can't do it. I go up to the kiosk. Nope, can't do it. I go up to the counter. I've never seen this before, sir. I got to call someone. So they call over to the TSA, and then they notify them that I'm in the airport. Then when I go to clear, the manager's like, oh, I can't let you in. You got Quad S. I got to get the manager. Got to get some information from you. Then when I go through clear, they're like, hey, TSA at the checkpoint, my clear doesn't work. They're like, hey, you got to give them secondary screening. Secondary screening is top to bottom. They check your ear, inside earlobes. I mean, they take my wallet out and like swab everything.
Right.
They take my iPad, take everything off. They're like, you want to do this in I got videos of all this too. A lot of my encounters. Before I start, I would basically go to the TSA officer. I got some of it online. I say, sir, ma'am, please read the first line of this amendment. The right of the people to be secure in their persons, houses, papers, and effects against unreasonable searches and seizures shall not be violated. And so as I had them on video read that out loud, I would tell them, you're about to conduct a Fourth Amendment rape of Ivan Raiklin. I do not consent. They're like, well, you don't have to travel. I'm like, well, I'm going to talk to the state legislature in Arizona, in New Hampshire, in Wisconsin. Why? Because I'm explaining to these speakers of the House and Senate presidents at these state legislatures how they are at the point where they must reclaim their 2020 electors that were transmitted fraudulently, illegally. And so the federal government is trying to stop me from doing that, to communicate with them. Like digitally they did, right? Through the censorship. Now they're doing it physically with the DHS.
And he stripped you. Look, sounds like they stripped you of your security clearance.
No comment.
Got to keep it vague.
Got to keep it vague. Don't ask that.
Okay.
No, I'm joking. It sounds like they investigated me.
Yeah.
They tried to find something on me. So then they
started a fishing expedition.
They couldn't. The government, the director of the Defense, this is the first time I'm saying this. Defense Intelligence Agency director. Yeah, you know who you are. Made the decision to tell the contract company that I was supporting them on that I am not allowed in the building. Physically cannot enter the building to perform on the contract. My contract company's like, what? What's wrong? Just can't get in. And they're like, is there any DROGs, anything? Nope. Just can't go into the building. Why? Because of my First Amendment activity off duty in my personal time. And because I got, the platform and I was doing this stuff.
Yeah.
So anyway, this is kind of a summary of all the Fourth Amendment rape activity that was conducted on me for 21 months. They couldn't find anything. The reason that they stopped is because I started communicating with the new leadership in the House in January 2023, the chair of the Homeland Security Committee, Mark Green, and his staff. I was like, hey, I'm on this list for political reasons. They've already done the 21 months of fraud, waste, and abuse with all this. Oh, by the way, they would do this at the gate as well. Not only at the security checkpoint. As soon as I got to the gate, they would do the same secondary screening in front of everybody at the gate. I recorded that too. I was like, hey, you guys are doing the Fourth Amendment rape again.
Yeah, making your life difficult.
Yeah, so.
Sounds like that Will Smith movie he was in, Enemy of the State. Remember that father with Gene Hackman?
And guess what? You think you're going to intimidate me?
Not you. Not you being all light-skinned and all.
No. I'm coming for you.
Yeah.
I may be small. You might kill me in the process, but I will mutilate you.
Yeah.
I will mutilate you just like you try to mutilate our kids. Ain't going to happen. Not on my watch. All right, it's getting serious, man. You're getting spicy here.
Yeah.
All right, so with that, when you fuck with me like that, now it's time for me to fuck with you.
Yeah.
Now we go on offense. So 20 investigations later across DOD, DOJ, DHS of me. Now it's my turn. So what I've been doing the last 15, 16 months, check out my shirt.
Yeah, the Deep State Marauder.
Yeah, some people call me the Mauler.
The Mauler.
Deep State Mauler.
It's easy for me to say. Marauder.
No, so Marauder. Just for, the whole history behind the word marauder, the etymology, if you will, of the word.
The etymology.
Yeah.
That's some big white man word.
Hey, man, that light skin, rubs off on me.
Yeah.
On that brown on the inside. So here's where we're at. When you investigate me 20 times, I'm going to do the same thing to you now. And I know who you are. Okay? So how does that work? I got to work with the institutions that are going to be receptive to this, right? So this right here you may have heard of. So when we took over the House, we came up with a couple options. How about we have a Speaker Trump, and I'll kind of outline this, that does the following. Temporarily. Why don't you go ahead and appoint the Sergeant at Arms? I'll take that position. I'll go totally aggressive, physical. And then release the footage and the internal documents of the January 6th activities. Well, we finally got them to release the footage, right? Now we're trying to get them to release the documents. Then we got to create called the House Un-American Affairs Committee. Remember that? Under McCarthy? House Un-American Activities Committee in the style of the Joseph McCarthy to extirpate, big word, any and all CCP influence in the U.S., meaning extract, remove, eject. We created a committee on CCP, but it's weak. It's weak sauce. It was headed up by Gallagher, one of the 3 that didn't vote to impeach Mayorkas, and then he retired early. Little punk. Anyhow, he's a Paul Ryan lackey, right?
Yeah.
The guy that's on faux news, the ones that you get way more views and listens than they do,
Yeah.
those scum.
Yeah.
And then we got the First Amendment activity that we're trying to create to end big tech and Chinese influence on American internet freedoms. Well, we got the Weaponization Committee, right? So we got a little win. And then what about the Nuremberg 2 Committee? Not yet, right? But we did have a coronavirus committee, select committee on coronavirus.
Right.
Again, but the guy that chairs it, guess who it is? Brad Wenstrup. This dude is the guy that coined Mike Pence on January 6th. Remember him? Remember that dude gave him a coin? So you think they're probably tight besties?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure that committee was he was selected to cover up any involvement that Mikey Pence had or may have been involved in related to the White House Coronavirus Task Force with his besties Fauci, Fraudchi, and Debbie Burks. And then the last one, committee to investigate the 2020 election and January 6th aftermath. We got a couple wins. But I was trying to block McCarthy from becoming the speaker. I wrote 13 Substack articles. Remember you had to fill out your form for security clearance? It's called SF-86.
Right.
If it's like for TIA, top secret.
Yeah.
Well, I ran a counterintelligence investigation using that framework on Kevin McCarthy before he was, because everybody's like, oh, he's just going to be the speaker. I wrote it up, and I was texting it and emailing it to all 222 members of the Republican conference as I published it going into January 3rd when they voted him in. We beat him 16 times, but on the 17th, unfortunately, he pulled it off temporarily, right?
Temporarily, yeah.
But then he didn't do what we had requested. Partially he did, but he wasn't releasing the video.
What was his motive not to do that?
This is where we go into January 6th. Oh, yeah. How much time we got?
We got time. We good. We
Good? Okay.
It's getting deep.
This is where I'm going to be real humble again.
Okay. Yeah. People like a humble guy.
I know. Okay, before I get into humble mode, I got to explain to you. Understanding what I used to teach and then pissing me off. Okay? I'm going to use every single waking moment to prove that January 6th was a Fedsurrection. And I'm going to identify who exactly was involved in it. And we're going to create consequences known as retribution for every single one of them. Okay? I'm serious.
Right.
We are going to crush them. 2 ways. We're going to castrate the deep state. I prefer an ice pick. Where are them knives at, by the way?
Yeah, we got
I want this to be graphic.
Oh, these knives are crazy.
Yeah. 3 veterans right here on the table. 3 musketeers, baby.
Yeah.
Wait, hold on. Hit it. Yeah. We still haven't done in cadence. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So check this out. My motto at this point as the Deep State Marauder, twofold. Phase 1, castrate the deep state, right?
Right.
2, crush the commies. The way I look at it, castrating the deep state means cleaning our own house, right, in the United States. Once we can get it cleaned out, then we can start going after China for what they did with the Fauci-funded lab incident that crushed our economy, that basically, I mean, we'll just leave it at that.
Yeah.
I don't want to go rated X yet.
Yeah.
So, imagine this is a ice pick, okay? How do you castrate the deep state? You know, some people say like, oh, man, Ivan, you poking the bear, man. What are you doing? Aren't you scared? I'm like, no, they're scared. And now we're moving from poking the bear to ice picking the bear. Now we start off with, imagine, you know, the male genitalia is hanging right here. And that's the proverbial deep state. So far I've been scratching it like this underneath.
Tickling them balls, huh?
Now I'm transitioning to scratching them like this.
Yeah.
And we're about to move to scratching them like that.
Yeah. To put the tip in there.
Yeah, and it ain't going to just be the tip. So imagine that. Wait, where's the sheath?
Yeah, put the skin back on there.
So, how do we castrate the deep state?
Yeah.
We got to expose them, right? First order of business homework for everybody is if you don't have time, you got to watch that movie. That movie, Flynn, Deliver the Truth, Whatever the Cost, gives you in 2 hours the entire, like that's the shortest thing that has been put together that I've seen that goes into detail, this entire scheme. Everybody going after Trump right now is some way, shape, or form subordinate to the senior leaders. I've talked about many of them, the Brennans, the Comeys, the Clappers. These are the same people that were sitting right next to Flynn, General Flynn, when he was testifying, speaking truth to power, okay? Tucker Carlson gets it. He's in there. Devin Nunes. He was the only one of the Gang of Eight members, meaning the 8 leaders of the Congress that get briefed on the most sensitive intel matters of our government, to include probably the Crossfire Hurricane op. Of those 8, we had, so you have the Senate Majority Leader, McConnell, the Minority Leader, Schumer. On the Senate side, you have the Senate Select Committee on Intelligence Chairman, Richard Burr at the time, and Mark Warner. These are 2 senators, one from North Carolina, another one from Virginia. Richard Burr, total TDS. So on the Senate side, they didn't say a peep about that illegal spying operation. On the House side, you had the Speaker of the House, Pelosi. You had the Minority Leader. This is where it gets into McCarthy. Excuse me. You had, my bad. At that time, during the spying operation, it was Paul Ryan as the Speaker of the House, Pelosi as the Minority Leader, the chair of the House Permanent Select Committee on Intelligence, Devin Nunes, and then the ranking member, Adam Bullshiff.
Yeah, bullshit.
So of those 8, the only person that started to kind of scratch the itch and identify what was going on with his staffer, Kash Patel at the time, was Devin Nunes. He talks about in detail what was going on. Okay? So that's kind of the summary there. So here's what happened. January 6th. This is based on reading over 20 books of people that were witnesses for the January 6th committee, members of Congress. Those were in the White House. I read Cassidy Hutchinson's book. I read Mark Meadows' book, Chris Miller. I met and talked to Chris Miller, the acting Secretary of Defense. Chief Stephen's son. Remember him? I've had numerous conversations with him. Okay? And I met with him before he went on Tucker the first time. So just before Tucker was fired by Paul Ryan, I had an interview.
Paul Ryan?
Huh?
Paul Ryan got him fired?
Paul Ryan's on the board of Fox News. Faux News. So as soon as he was done as the Speaker of the House, he went over to Faux News to be one of the board members. He controls a lot of what happens on Faux News. Meaning, have you ever heard Faux News say anything negative about your boy Mike Pence?
Nope.
Ask Paul Ryan about that. Have you ever heard them say anything about brought to you by Pfizer? Anything like really negative?
No.
Did you, what do you think that settlement agreement was when deviant voting systems? You're getting a little scared now, huh?
Yeah.
Can't use that word. Deviant Dominion refers to Virginia. That's the nickname for the Commonwealth of Virginia.
Right.
So don't.
Yep. Old Dominion.
Yeah, don't confuse
Commonwealth.
them. Don't confuse them. So deviant voting systems settled with Faux News to the tune of $850 million.
Right.
You think that was a settlement, or is that a bribe or an investment?
Probably all 3.
So that Faux News can invest in deviant voting system, an electoral outcome of their choosing, a private company investing in another private company that runs elections in 28 states in some way, shape, or form. I'd like to see it, but it's not public, that agreement. So anyway, going back to Paul Ryan. So you had Paul Ryan. So the only guy was Devin Nunes, okay? And then, I think you got some of these guys back here. So that's kind of the short answer. So January 6th was a deliberate, intentional, facilitated breach of the Capitol, but it was done, just like I said at the very beginning, based on the framework of the authorities of the U.S. Capitol Police, the Capitol Police Board, and the leadership above them, the Speaker and the Senate Majority Leader. That's all in Title II U.S. Code Chapter 29. Those two sections, the first section I started out talking about was 1967, paragraph B, the jurisdiction. And the jurisdiction zone hits, wait for it. Should I bring up the slides since I don't have the paper?
Mm-hmm.
What do you think?
Yeah.
Keith?
Yeah.
You sure?
Yeah, I'm positive.
Oh, okay. So I got an entire presentation of J6 and the timeline, the illegally conducted election, COVID changes. This was all the illegalities that took place. Change the election, the suck-a-buck, the $400 million, the foreign interference that was just discussed, the 60 scum providing cover for the Biden criminal laptop, and then by state, what Wisconsin did, illegal drop boxes, Arizona, Pennsylvania, Georgia, etc. Right? Let's keep going. So these are the number of the states that ran their elections according to COVID, which made them illegal. Not just the 6 or 7.
The blue states?
Yeah.
Wow.
39. And then that's not to mention Georgia, who, remember Bucktooth?
Yeah.
Fatty, what's her name?
Fanny?
Oh,
No.
Abrams. Abrams.
Yeah.
Say
Oh, yeah, Abrams.
Yeah. So
With the nice cap patch.
the consent decree that she did with basically running the election illegally, that doesn't even talk about that. So 40 states call it.
Hey, don't mean
Anyhow.
to jump ahead, but
Yeah.
that whole FBI raid of Mar-a-Lago,
Yeah.
did Trump, he declassified a lot of
Yeah.
information. Was it around this information you was able to develop on your own?
So
Was it based around that?
the raid on Mar-a-Lago, according to my assessment, was to seize the documents that President Trump declassified in the hours that he had left in this first term
Yeah.
of Crossfire Hurricane. And every single person and thing that they did related to spying on himself.
So he started investigating the same people you were investigating.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
And
that's why Trump wouldn't give the documents back. He said all he had to do is give the documents back, but he declassified them.
Right.
so you know what that would have triggered? Because right then is when President Trump filed a lawsuit, RICO, against the FB Lie for that illegal spying op. And then General Flynn filed, I think, a $20 million civil lawsuit against the same people.
Mm-hmm.
Can you imagine if you had that evidence in your trial?
Right.
Hook, line, sinker. It's game over.
Right.
You're fucked. That's what happens. So anyway, this goes into some of the details, right? Check it out. January 6th.
That's why they raided his house.
So the same people that raided his house are seizing the information that was going to use it against themselves. Like imagine you're the FBI Lie.
Mm-hmm. We need
I
we
got
need those
evidence to
documents.
crush you for your illegal activities in 2016. You then go ahead and just seize it.
Right. Damn, our government is just behaving like a cartel.
Yeah, you know about Yogi Pittman?
Mm-mm.
Damn. We're going to go into deep. All right, so remember this stuff? Let's see. Cue the Fedsurrection. Mayor Bowser of D.C. basically says, hey, we don't want any executive branch support on January 6th, even though Chief Stephen Son of the U.S. Capitol Police says we need it. Right?
Right.
But Yogi Pittman, the head of Intel and Interagency Coordination Division at U.S. Capitol Police, says, nah.
I know she a DI hire.
Well, how do you tell? How can you tell?
Lucky guess.
She black.
Come on now. Oh, man. Hey, I was born February 29th, baby.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Light Skin History Month. The last day. I had to wait for the last
you had
day.
to wait for the
But
last
I only,
day.
you know why I'm so
That's a
light
leap
skinned?
year day, too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why I'm so light.
Yeah.
Right.
Once every 4 years, only for like one. Think about it.
Right. Yeah.
You get it?
Yeah.
All right. So January 6th, you know what? I need to publish this. So Nancy Pelosi basically says only allowed 11 people on the House floor from House and Senate, and then Democrats, Republicans. So they didn't even have a quorum on January 6th when they certified the election. This is all video right there. So I don't know how much I want to go into detail because I've done master classes on this. I'll refer people to watch my Alpha Warrior podcast. It's about 3 hours long, just about January 6th, my role in the run-up, the day of, and then after. Now, people are like, oh, Ivan was involved. He's a insurrectionist. So here's what I did. I put out a tweet called Operation Pence Card. Speaking of
Operation Pence Card.
And it's on your podcast. We can provide a link in the description
Yeah.
of the video. Yeah.
And I basically said, hey, Electoral Count Act, Title 3 U.S. Code, Section 12 says that if you don't receive a legitimate slate of electors from a state, then the president of the Senate, Mike Pence, has to send a memo to the Secretary of State of that state to tell him, hey, send me a legitimate slate of electors, meaning run an election legitimately, because you didn't. You did it under pandemic rules. That violates the election law of that state and the federal constitution. 1. Don't send electors. Or number 3, just have a joint session vote of your state legislature, and that will meet the constitutional requirement.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Well,
so Vice President Pence, he
did nothing.
Their plan B all along.
Yeah, so he did nothing on this. This was supposed for him to do on December 23rd of 2020.
Yeah.
He didn't do shit.
Right.
Trump retweeted that, the tweet that I put out.
Mm-hmm.
Jack Smith uses that in his criminal indictment against Trump for him retweeting my tweet. Hey, punk, Jackie Boy Smith, how come you don't call me?
Mm-hmm.
I know why you can't call me, because you're fucked if you call me in. You know why they're fucked? Because they don't know a calendar. I'm gonna use this test. December 23rd, 2020, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Electoral Count Act. Is that a different day than January 6th, 2021?
Yeah.
Is that a different month?
Mm-hmm.
What about you, Keith?
Yeah.
Is that a different year?
Yeah.
How come this motherfucker, Jack Smith, can't figure that shit out? How come Pete Aguilar, one of the scum on the J6 cover-up committee, calls me out, calls my name out on the third hearing, says, an individual by the name of Ivan Raiklin puts out a tweet that Trump retweets about how I'm advocating for something to happen on January 6th with that Pence card.
Mm-hmm.
These fucking idiots don't even know how to read. Their staffers are complete dumbasses, retards, roitards, right?
Mm-hmm.
Why? Because that tweet refers to December 23rd under the legal framework known as the Electoral Count Act. Again, Title 3 U.S. Code, Section 12. My January 6th play was for Kevin McCarthy. So if you look at the 12th Amendment, I'll pull it up because I got it memorized, basically. Yeah. Oh, it's right there. So it says right here, in choosing the president, the vote shall be taken by states. This is under a contingent election. So if there's a contested election,
right,
and no one gets the legitimate majority, 270 electoral votes, then you go to a contingent election, right? So a quorum for that purpose, meaning the minimum number of members that need to be present, is 2. It says here, purpose shall consist of a member or members from 2/3 of the states, and a majority of all states shall be necessary to a choice, meaning 26 states, 34 states have to be represented in the House for the joint session 12th Amendment style vote during the joint session. Well, Pelosi didn't allow it, right? I called it out. But before that, going into January 6th, I told Kevin McCarthy, I texted him. Like, I got everybody's number. I texted him, and then I also sent him a note to Mike Pence's Chief of Staff, Mark Short. If you look up my name on the January 6th transcripts, man, they're looking for me all day, every day. Everybody's being asked about me. Ivanka, Jared, Roger Stone, General Flynn, Giuliani, Sidney Powell, Patrick Byrne. You know these names, right?
Right, yeah.
They never call me in. I'm like 15, 20 minutes away. Call me in, punks. The reason why they can't call me in is because I have the receipts to basically back up what I'm about to tell you. I conveyed to McCarthy that you need to take the role as the majority state delegation chair, and instead of voting by one person, one vote in the House, you vote one state, one vote, where the Republicans had a majority of 27 to 20 to 3. 3 states were tied up under that framework. So if you use that framework to object to the electors of Arizona, Georgia, Wisconsin, Michigan, Pennsylvania, Nevada, or even just 3 of those, it triggers a contingent election and a re-election of Trump in the House, and then the Senate would then vote for the vice president, which at that point would have been Pence again. So I explained this to him. I never called for a delay. I never called for a breach or anything illegal.
Right.
But my play, my legal theory and play, has still not been penetrated, nor do they want it in the national discussion, because it was the only mechanism that would lawfully, constitutionally remedy the illegal 2020 election. And when Nancy Pelosi caught wind of that, because I had publicly done podcasts about it, I conveyed it to McCarthy and Pence's Chief of Staff, Mark Short. That's when they teed up the Fedsurrection in order to block the re-election from taking place. Because I said
distraction.
The only way they could have stopped that from happening is for Pelosi to order her Sergeant at Arms, Paul Irving. Because you got to remember, if I was being retweeted 3 or so times by President Trump going into January 6th. So I would guess that everybody's watching my Twitter because I had like 200-something million impressions in December into January. Went from nobody to somebody. And as I was putting this stuff out, I would gather that Pelosi's chief of staff, Terry McCullough, her special advisor, Terry McCullough, her sergeant at arms, Paul Irving, who happened to be Paul Ryan's sergeant at arms before that, were watching my stuff. And so like, ooh, crap, Trump's going to get reelected and we're fucked because he kind of knows this now after 4 years of being fucked with, right?
Right.
And so they had to do everything in their way possible to solidify the electoral heist of 2020. And that was through the facilitated breach of the Capitol. So when you look at the jurisdiction zone of the Capitol, man, I can go into so many details. It comes down to the Capitol Police Board. The jurisdiction includes where the DNC and the RNC are at and where the Union Station is at for U.S. Capitol Police law enforcement. So remember Clay Higgins identified those 2 buses of FB Lie?
Right.
That's inside of the USCP bubble. DNC and RNC pipe bombs, that's inside the DNC. That's inside of the USCP bubble. So when you start to look and peel the onion on the individuals, like I did the individuals at CLIA, at FB Lie, well, when I start doing that link analysis on the January 6th, U.S. Capitol Police, the internal decision makers of all law enforcement activity for January 6th, I interview Chief Son. I read all their books. I look at and read all the transcripts. I read the J6 committee report. I watch all the hearings. And I talk to, like, when I'm up there in U.S. Capitol behind these scum, as they're, I was behind Fauci. You probably saw that one. That's not the only thing I'm doing. I'm talking to every single U.S. Capitol police officer that I can talk to find out from their perspective what happened on January 6th. I'm also talking to the head of security at the time for RNC. I'm also talking to members of Congress. I'm also whether it's Troy Nels, whether it's Clay Higgins, whether it's Congressman Loudermilk, who chairs the subcommittee that is going to get to the truth and justice of January 6th. And so last year, right after I wrote this Substack article, ivanraiklin.substack.com.
Nice plug.
Yeah, baby. I went ahead and said, hey, if you want to find out what really happened on January 6th, like, I've already done the investigation. I've already talked to the right people. I'm like, here. And I gave this to Ashley Babbitt's mom, Mickey Withoff, and I was supposed to be in that meeting with her and Kevin McCarthy. McCarthy backed out of it at the advice of the General Counsel of the U.S. Capitol Police, Tad Tobias, who's on my Deep State target list. He's part of the cover-up crew. And the General Counsel for the Speaker, McCarthy at the time. So instead, she handed it to him and the General Counsel, and then I handed this to the House Admin Committee Staff Director and Loudermilk's team. So they've been methodically going through this. This is for you guys. Everything's for you guys, by the way.
Oh, thank you.
The process to prove to America beyond any doubt whatsoever that this was a deliberate, intentional, facilitated, incited, instigated breach by the Capitol Police Board and the FB Lie was a subordinate, shaping, supporting effort to that. They weren't the lead. Did they participate? Yes. It was the U.S. Capitol Police. So when you're like, oh, poor J6 defendant, whether you're the former food blogger out there turned J6 subject matter expert, you know who you are. They're focused on, oh, the DOJ is bad. They're criminalizing against the J6 defendant. Poor baby. The courts are bad in D.C. because they're biased jury and biased judges. The problem is that that's not where the problem lies. All the evidence that's sent over to the DOJ to criminalize Trump through Jack Smith, to criminalize Navarro, Steve Bannon, all 1,400 almost January 6 defendants, it originates with the U.S. Capitol Police at the direction of Pelosi and Schumer. People still don't understand that. I've been basically trying to say that for years, but everybody's like, oh, Ivan, you're crazy or this and that. Well, look up Title II U.S. Code Chapter 29. It's so evident when you read those two sections. The second section, 1979, that I talk about, it lists who has the authority to release security information of the U.S. Capitol Police. It's the Capitol Police Board. Who appoints the Capitol Police Board? The Speaker of the House, Pelosi, at the time, and the Senate Majority Leader, Chuck Schumer. And guess who appoints the U.S. Capitol Police Chief?
Pelosi and Schumer.
Pelosi and Schumer, through their sergeants at arms.
And that's why she turned down those 10,000 National Guard troops that day.
That answers your question. They wanted the breach to take place so that they could convince the Kelly Loefflers of Georgia, the Purdue's of Georgia, the Mike Waltzes of Florida. Green Beret guy. I know him.
How about
I deployed with him 2006.
Yeah.
And the January 5th, he said he was going to, I was talking to him. I was on the phone, texting, calling him. He's sending me a text. Dan Crenshaw is not going to object. I'm like, don't be like Dan Crenshaw. He's wrong in this. You're the last final stop to autocorrect the illegal election, as I've laid out. And the very next day, he changed his vote from objecting to not objecting. We would have had the votes if we did it by state delegation. Easy.
Yeah. How many FBI agents you think was in that crowd? You think they were sent there to incite what they wanted there that day?
If you have that many, well, one aspect of it is that that's kind of a national security sensitive event, I think it's called. So it would make sense for there to be undercovers there.
Right.
Like, but
they had ulterior
that's to
motives.
report, right? Not to be active participants in a Fed surrection.
Right.
That's a little different. One thing is a Reichstag moment. One thing is like, yeah, you're collecting intel and you're basically making sure that the constitutional process takes place and people are allowed their First Amendment, air their grievances, kind of like what Tarek Johnson, remember him? The U.S. Capitol Police whistleblower? I talk to him regularly. Chief Son, regularly. Congressman Barry Loudermilk's office, regularly. Those are the three most important individuals in this conversation to get to the truth. Tarek Johnson can give you the best insight into the culture of the U.S. Capitol Police up to the assistant chief level. He's been in the system, like me, as it applies to the intel community. He's been in the system for 22 and a half years as a U.S. Capitol Police officer. He knows this Yogananda Pittman, right? He knows these people personally. So he gives so much more insight on them and the culture within the force. Chief Sund, who came from Metropolitan Police Department, can give you the details of Metropolitan Police's role on that day. But then also he can give you the perspective of being a non-voting member of that Capitol Police Board. And he's done that. So if you look at his X feed, Chief Sund, last couple days, he's been going into reiterating that he requested additional support to protect the Capitol based on what he knew, but Pittman didn't provide him the intel. One, she held it back. And two, due to optics, Paul Irving, the House Sergeant at Arms, and Pelosi were like, no, you're not getting anything. Which begs the question, was it an intelligence failure or an intentional intelligence non-disclosure? And then number two, was it Paul Irving at the direction of Nancy Pelosi and his previous speaker, Paul Ryan, that told him, hey, make sure that this looks like an insurrection, and as soon as we get the footage for that, go ahead and call the D.C. National Guard via Ryan McCarthy, the former Secretary of the Army, and Chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, Mark Milley, to basically say the optics are no longer there to not have you because, well, we've just created an insurrection through our video content of facilitating and instigating with our friends at the FB Lie and DHS that incited, instigated, facilitated, to include Ray Epps and John Sullivan that were in the crowd, inciting, instigating, fomenting, facilitating that entrapment. So we're getting close. After the video release a couple days ago with Nancy Pelosi, you saw that?
Yeah. That,
I saw in the car.
Yeah.
In a limo or whatever it was.
All decisions rest on her shoulders. That's where the joint session was. So she's the one to blame for anything that went wrong, but I think it wasn't just an accidental. As this committee, Loudermilk's committee, brings in Paul Irving, the House Sergeant at Arms back then, as they bring in the General Counsel of the U.S. Capitol Police, Thomas DeBias, his Twitter account, by the way, for America, is the No Body Guy, And for some strange reason, he follows me. I keep an eye on him too, both physically and digitally. And that's not the only person that my team observes physically and digitally and reports back to me. Got many people that volunteer.
That's why they got rid of
Interesting how-
Tucker, because he was uncovering that whole plan. Because majority
He
of
was
people,
going to air that interview with Chief Sund the next day. When Paul Ryan caught wind of it, he's like, nah. Because I think Paul Ryan's fingerprints are all over January 6th through his Sergeant at Arms, Paul Irving. So the three people that really
the
keep it,
CEO of Fox.
not the CEO,
No,
he's
no.
one of the board members.
These are the board members. Yeah.
Board member.
Yeah, so that's why you hear him saying like, "Oh, I'm not going to vote for Trump." And this, because if Trump comes in, he's fucked.
Right.
I guarantee it.
Yeah.
He's on my list. He's on my deep state target list. By the way, where's my? I haven't even introduced you to that, did I? It's over 350 people,
Yeah. I think he
and
did.
the big media is reaching out to me lately. Raw sewage.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I saw.
National Poison
Twitter.
Radio girl, Zoe.
Yeah, Zoe.
Yeah. What's
Good
up?
old Zoe.
What's up, girl? What would you think about that? That's why you sent me a message on Twitter DM. I was like,
right.
oh yeah, man, I'd
That
be
was
honored to
awesome.
come on here.
Yeah, that was awesome. You was walking gingerly. He's like, where you from? What are you out here for?
How come you're not reporting on Trump's trial in New York? They must have deployed you on me, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
She wouldn't come out and say that. I get to pick and choose, though.
Oh, yeah. Low-level reporter from National Poison Radio. Yeah.
Right, yeah. She said she wasn't from NPR, though, huh?
No, she was trying to avoid it. She's like, no, This American Life. I'm like, yeah. I got my Rolodex of who's who. I know that's one of the biggest podcasts out there, within the lamestream legacy media.
Right. That conversation we had with her got over 10 million views.
Just on my ex account, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm trying to get it to 19, like that. Well, hold on. Like your little video clip of noodles.
Eat the noodles.
We're going to go for it
It's time
before
for
I close it?
Yeah, that's gonna.
You want me to go
I'm gonna get a little bit. Just a
Yeah,
little.
Kevin, a little bit.
All right, ladies first. Where's the water at? Hey, should we eat like a bite and then we do the, what is that called?
It smells good.
Would you call that in one of your videos? A thumbnail.
Oh,
We
get
need
a we need a thumbnail. Oh, you've been watching this for a while.
I study my
You study everybody.
peeps. Make sure it's clean.
You got some. It's spicy. It smells so good you want to eat more, but I know it's gonna be some ramifications later. How often do you eat that?
He's eating so much he's immune to it.
Oh yeah.
I mean, it's actually good. It's just so damn.
Yeah. I have a little more.
You want a little bit over here? I think he put more spices in mine. I requested more.
Biggie sized it, huh?
They're good. It's just so damn hot.
All right, so now that we've identified the enemy
Yeah.
and the threats we face.
Mm-hmm.
Remember, I'm an intel analyst back in the day. We got to come up with a strategy
Right.
to castrate the deep state and crush the commies.
We don't really need Trump in office for that, right?
It would help.
Yeah, it would help. Yeah.
Yeah, it would help a lot.
Yeah.
Like you transitioning. Your
On my
lips
lips
red.
red.
Man, it's funny how your lips just go red. I almost thought it was like AI, CGI. But now I know in person that it's not. It's real.
Yeah.
It's legit.
Right.
I thought you guys like manipulated the video to make
Oh,
it.
man. That stuff clings to you.
Oh, yeah.
Those are so good, but man, they are spicy.
Should we say a couple words in different languages to kind of draw in the international audience?
Yeah, you being a teacher and all.
Okay.
How you say it in
You
Russian?
speak 5 languages.
I would say this, since it's rated R. Нихуя себе.
Like you said, sound like you said the N word in Russian.
Oh, yo.
If I'm in wrestling, I hear that, I'm like, I'm screwed.
No, it translates into, oh, damn. But a little bit more vulgar than that.
Oh, really? How you say it again?
Nihuya Sibia.
Nihua Sibia. Close enough, right?
Yeah.
Nihua Sibia. Like you got lipstick on.
You say this, Keith.
Okay.
Очень остро.
Say it again.
Очень
Очень
остро.
Ostra.
Re-
Ostra.
Real spicy.
Oh, okay. Oten Ostra. Be cool to be
Muy caliente.
Yeah, I can say that. Muy caliente. Yeah, that's easy. Muy caliente.
Muy picante.
Muy
En fuego.
en fuego. Oh, man, this is burning.
Then you got to say this one. Majnoon.
Muy noon. Muy noon.
No. Majnoon.
Mush noon.
It means crazy in Arabic. Oh, yeah.
So you speak 5 languages. How long did it take you to learn the 5?
I'm still trying to figure it out.
Yeah. Just pick it up just like that, huh?
No, so for Arabic, I went to the Special Forces Qualification Course, also known as the Q course.
QAnon.
Hey, you gotta drop a droplet every once in a while. You know?
Yeah.
No, that's what it was called.
Hmm.
Q course, qualification course.
QAnon.
Oh, okay.
QAnon.
So I learned Arabic as part of my language training.
Mm-hmm.
Russian. My parents fled the Soviet Union in the 70s from communism.
Mm-hmm.
That's one of the reasons why I'm in this fight, because it's at the front doorstep. Now I get to castrate them right there at the front door.
Yeah. This is communism, what they're doing.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
not on my watch. I need you to get rid of your micro weaknesses
Yeah.
and go on offense.
Yeah.
When are you going to go on offense?
Hey, man, I got to start
Start,
studying.
start,
I got to put, how long it's going to take me? 10,000 hours?
Nah,
About 200 hours.
40
40 hours?
masterclass.
Okay.
But you're doing it through the podcast,
Yeah.
so
Yeah, I
you're
go
already
back and
working
listen to the podcast and I just follow along.
Nah,
Follow the guidelines.
Got to start doing more content.
more content.
Got to get Flynn on.
You got to get Flynn on.
Yeah.
I gave a speech at the Reawaken. You've been at the Reawaken, right?
No.
You never been there? You heard about it?
Yeah, I
The
heard about it.
Reawaken tour. So we just did one in Detroit last weekend. So I gave a little speech. Man, 13 minutes. Perfect timing. So I basically said what I think that the Deep State, these guys that we already played out, are going to do moving forward. Most probable course of action, right? We do as intel analysts. We kind of look at the enemy, what their most probable, dangerous, and most dangerous course of actions is going to be. And then we create a strategy to counter it. So this is what I think politically they're going to do. So July 11th, they're going to go ahead and jail President Trump. Okay? Rikers Island.
You think he's going to have his Secret Service protection?
Of course. Yeah.
It's going to come down to Mike Johnson. Because Benny Thompson, remember you know that Benny Thompson was a terrorist? Domestic terrorist?
Mm-mm.
If you look him up. You know who that is, right?
Not really.
Benny Thompson was the chair. He was Liz Cheney's, Nancy Pelosi's beloved, hand-picked chair of that January 6th cover-up committee.
Right. You said it.
Benny Thompson from Mississippi, Jackson.
Supposed to be a good old boy.
Yeah,
Not from Jackson.
so he was a
Oh, yeah. Not from Jackson. Not from
he was
Jackson,
a domestic
Mississippi.
terrorist in the 60s. Yeah,
Wow.
look it
Oh,
up.
okay.
Look him up. Anyhow, this guy is wanting to pass a law on pulling Secret Service from President Trump. But it ain't going to happen unless Mike Johnson, or at least a couple of the Republicans, vote for him. And that might happen. You know why? Because Mike Pence's brother is in the House of Representatives, Greg Pence. Okay? Who else is in the House? Don Bacon from Nebraska's 2nd Congressional District. Good old Ukraine first, Don Bacon. He's got a flag outside his office in Congress. I passed by it. And it says, Idi nahui.
Eugene Lahui.
It means go on the dick or fuck off. But it's in Ukrainian. And I told him, I tagged him on Twitter, on X. I was like, hey, you really want to put this out there outside your room in Congress? He's like, yeah, whatever. Anyway, this guy's a Ukraine first politician, Republican.
Right.
I could see him voting for that. I could see the 2 remaining impeachment hoax voters for the 2nd impeachment hoax. Remember?
Yeah.
The one that Jamie Raskin led? to basically create the insurrection narrative?
Mm-hmm.
Well, two of them are Republicans. David Valadao from California and Dan Newhouse from Washington. Okay? Who else? Tom McClintock from California. Bestie of good old Kevin McCarthy. So there are three people that didn't vote to impeach Mayorkas when he was impeached that were Republicans. Gallagher, who just retired early.
Mm-hmm.
Ken Buck, right?
Mm-hmm.
Retired early. And then Tom McClintock still in. So I could see any one of those combination of fools to vote to take the security service away from President Trump, which then does what?
Opens them up to a tragedy in there.
Mm-hmm. So let's make the assumption that that does not happen, okay?
Mm-hmm.
So the next day, the Rules Committee of the RNC meets on the 12th of July in Milwaukee, and 13th maybe. You think there's going to be some Mike Pence, Liz Cheney, Nikki Haley, Ron DeSantis supporters on that Rules Committee?
Yeah, I would say so.
What do you think they're going to propose for a rules change?
Remove the Secret Service?
Can't nominate a convicted felon.
But that's in the Constitution, right?
That's the RNC rules. They
Right.
can change them on the floor.
Just like they changed that.
So the
what a
RNC
vaccine
can
is.
go around the Constitution?
No, because they're going through the nomination process. It's a private company known as the RNC is selecting their nominee for a president.
Oh, that's right.
Republican National Committee.
But the reason why we had that rule that if you being a convicted felon, you could still run for president because of our forefathers thought that would avoid someone politically persecuting someone. That's the main reason why
You could be a felon.
You be a
and still-
felon and be run for president,
Yeah.
right?
But the RNC doesn't have to. It's a private organization. They don't have to abide by that.
There's a constitutional process for becoming a president.
Mhm.
That constitutional process is laid out in Article 2, Section 1, Clause 2, and the 12th Amendment. I'm going to do it real quick because this is really important to this conversation.
Mhm.
So Article 2, Section 1. Article 2 is the executive, right? Powers. Section 1, the executive power shall be vested in a president. He shall hold office for the term of 4 years, blah, blah, blah. And then Clause 2, each state shall appoint in such manner as the legislature thereof may direct the number of electors, meaning the state legislature. So
Have the
state house and the state senate are the ones that allocate. Now, normally, initially during our nation's founding, from 1789, for the first few elections, the state legislatures voted in a joint session of the House and Senate on who would receive those electoral votes. But then they started passing election laws to kind of make that decision to the voting public.
right.
And then that would inform the state legislature's allocation of the electors through like secretaries of state, or if you're in Wisconsin, the Wisconsin Election Commission, et cetera. Okay? But the final authority on the allocation of those electors rests with the state legislature. Full stop. They're the supreme authority. Supreme Court case law supports that.
So they was able to get those COVID mandates in with the elections and
those individual
Non-legislative actors did that. And so that's why I'm saying 39 states, based on that map, ran their elections illegitimately, illegally. Not just the 6 contested ones or the 7 that transmitted alternate slates. More. Anyhow. But I was censored, right? Digitally. I was censored physically from getting that out there.
But
And then the 12th Amendment.
We're the threats to democracy, though. The voting public.
And they're the threats to our constitutional republic.
Right. Right.
Yeah. The reason why they use, by the way, I thought about this. I'm thinking that the reason why they use democracy is because Democrat Party,
They don't know our system.
democracy, right? DED, and Republicans use constitutional republic
Right.
because that's actually what it is.
Right. Yeah.
But, Republican.
Taking advantage of people's ignorance.
Exactly. Yeah, it's my good friend from China. His last name's Lee. Exacta. Lee. Gotta go global, man. Just like
Yeah.
just like Mr. Worldwide, man. I look like him, right?
Yeah. It's clean, huh? Mr. Light Skin clean.
So, and then the 12th Amendment. The electors shall meet in their respective states and vote by ballot. So basically, the framework for electing a president is the Article 2, Section 1, Clause 2, 12th Amendment, and then the Electoral Count Act. I know it pretty well. constitutionally, it's up to the state legislatures to do that and then transmit it over to the presiding officer or the president of the Senate and the National Archivist for the House and the Senate, the joint session on January 6th, to then certify those electors.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a conversation between state legislatures and the federal legislative body. That's how a president is elected.
Mm-hmm.
All this other like public polling, popular vote,
Right.
that's all like ancillary.
Mm-hmm.
It's only informative.
Mm-hmm.
It's not binding.
Mm-hmm.
The binding component of an election, or like the RNC convention, it's informative. The DNC convention, it's just performative art.
Mm-hmm.
The constitutional process is as I laid it out. Article 2, Section 1, Clause 2, 12th Amendment, and then subordinate to that, the Electoral Count Act, which is a law by Congress. That was passed lawfully. So in the run-up to that, the RNC convention is in July 12th, 13th, Rules Committee is what I think the dates are, and then the 14th through the 18th is the actual floor of the Republican National Committee.
Mm-hmm.
There's a chance that, and I'm still looking at the names of the individuals that are going to be on the Rules Committee, that they're going to provide an amendment to say, hey, let's vote on, if you're a felon, we can't nominate you. So then that excludes President Trump from being the nominee this year.
So that appeal that's coming up that he's on his guilty verdict, that's huge.
No, because I got an answer for all this.
Yeah.
There's a very clean path to fixing the entire shit show that is they're going to try to do. So what they're going to try to do is that. Let's just say we defeat that by scrutinizing and exposing the individuals, like I've been doing here, of who are on the Rules Committee, and we deploy, like I recommend every listener that is capable to physically be present in Milwaukee. I'm not calling on anything unlawful. I'm calling on, just like I do at the committees. If I'm face-to-face and you're eating dinner and I know exactly who you are on the Rules Committee and you happen to be at the venue that I'm at or at the hotel that I'm staying at, or right? I'm going to be like, hey, man, rumor has it that you're going to amend the rules to stop DJT from being the nominee. You're going to have problems. You will have problems.
Use the same tactics they're using against us.
And the problems that you're going to have are going to be lawful, moral, and ethical problems in the most peaceful way known to humanity.
Right, yeah.
And it'll be so patriotic.
And peaceful.
And very peaceful. So, I'm going to find out, right? There's so many things that we can do before going into what, like, people want the shortcut to, like, oh,
right,
let's go.
Right. It's not the way to do it.
Can I bring you pain by identifying every vendor you deal with, just like they've been doing to us?
Right.
People will fold. Many, like 90% of society folds when you do it that way.
Right.
So they want to play that game. We can play that game.
Right.
And I think we're going to play that game hard. But I don't think they're going to go there because these are weak, toxic, feckless cowards in the mirror image of Mike Pence, right? So we start to kind of expose them. Let's make the assumption that we we win that victory and President Trump from jail is the nominee, okay? What's the next phase that they're going to do? They're going to have to do something, right? Because remember, we're going after all these people. My deep state target list isn't just like Ivan Raiklin's deep state target list.
Right.
When you look at and learn why they're on the list, everyone's going to be like, oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. We're going after them. Because they're all the treasonous activity that's going from 2016 to today and the constant cover-up and the escalatory cover-up, the Fedsurrection, January 6th, all that, right? So they're going to try to do with the same Congress members, Republican, that I talked about, that could potentially vote to take out Secret Service for Trump. They could retire early. And thus, Hakeem Jeffries gets the gavel. He becomes the Speaker of the House. And then Jamie Ratskin does what? Files a bill calling January 6th an insurrection and Donald Trump an insurrectionist, thus blocking him under 14th Amendment, Section 3, from seeking office. Thus not on the ballot, right? That's a possibility. Then what? What do you think?
Then we just burn the place down, huh?
Hey, you're getting ahead of yourself, man. There's
because
no need
they
to.
actually think that people's going to lay down after that, especially if something happens to Trump if he's in prison. God forbid that happens. But these ulterior motives that these people had, these sick people have, they actually think people's going to not fight back.
Here's how we fight back. Using the constitutional process.
Yeah.
It's so simple. I need everybody listening in to listen and watch closely to what I'm about to say. If you want this to be a legal, moral, ethical, peaceful, and patriotic constitutional process going into the 2024 election to stop any shenanigans that they're trying to put up before us, know this. Even if they pull security, even if the rules changes at the RNC, even if the DNC puts up, what'd you call her? Michelle Obama?
Good Mike.
Even if she's put up as their nominee and then Gavin Newsom as the VP pick.
Right.
We got to use the opportunity from now into the DNC convention and into November to deliver the truth, whatever the cost. Learn who our deep state target list is. Understand why they're considered traitors because of their actions and activities. Shortcut is to watch the movie. I'm not like, I know I'm plugging the movie.
Right.
I've done some research, folks. This is the fastest way to understand what's going on with our country, with the deep state, is this movie.
Right.
Hands down, the fastest way. And once America, through the censorship scheme that we break through, understands who the enemy is domestically, you need to now take that energy and passion of what you just said, burn the place down. Instead, I need you to lean maximally on every state representative in the state house and the state senate. And if you're in Nebraska, they only have a unicameral system, so it's state senators. I need you to lean on them maximally to demand when all this stuff happens, they quote unquote win in this process. That will be the impetus for them to vote according to how Article 2, Section 1, Clause 2 grants them the authority to do, to allocate their electors, not with what the RNC has advised them to vote for, not what the DNC has advised them to vote for, but vote for the person that you feel needs to be the president and the vice president under our current circumstances, where we have a captured executive branch, the Biden criminal syndicate, where we have a captured executive DOJ, the DOD, the DHS. The way to root that out is kind of two-pronged. One, when you ask me, you asked me, President Trump, do we need him? It would sure help, because here's why. When you know that the state legislatures allocate their presidential and vice presidential electors, and you look at which states are Republican and which are Democrat in the country, the majority of those electoral votes come from Republican majority state legislatures.
Right.
So it doesn't matter what the popular vote is. The only way you can guarantee that deviant voting system is not going to manipulate the vote, the only way that you can guarantee that there's no foreign interference in our popular vote elections, the only way you guarantee that poll workers aren't manipulating and skewing and conducting fraud, the only way that you guarantee that there's no retail, wholesale, digital, analog, foreign interference, domestic interference, fraud in our electoral system is to have those state legislatures conduct on video, like we saw with Kevin McCarthy, like when you vote for Speaker of the House, roll call vote of the state legislatures in all 50 states to vote and allocate their electors. That circumvents all interference and fraud 100%. Number one. Number two, as they learn what happened to them with the pandemic, with the voting, everything, all the illegalities, and with the nation now mobilized, leaning on those state reps, it is inevitable that we're going to have state legislation. It's only inevitable if we activate. The only way to fix this shit show, to castrate the deep state and go after the commies, is for the legislatures to allocate their electors for President Trump and Vice President General Flynn, because he is the only person in our entire country that understands. If you think I know the system and the people, I know nothing compared to him.
General Flynn.
And the conversations that I've had with him during the 2-month tour, I was with him on the Flynn movie tour. Wow.
Yeah.
Bro.
You think Trump's going to pick him?
I need every single person going to the RNC convention. Every delegate, every volunteer, every worker, everybody thinking about attending and being in Milwaukee. They have to see this. They have to see it. Because once they see it, it's game over.
Where can he find the movie at?
Everywhere.
Everywhere?
It's on iTunes. It's on
Google
Comizon,
search.
Amazon, whatever.
Okay.
Yeah, it's everywhere. Digitally, you can get the DVD. If you still have a DVD player.
I don't think so. But I keep that and frame it.
Yeah, so once people see that, it's so powerful.
It explains.
It's powerful.
Does all the homework for you.
That's it. You watch it, you learn it, one and done, you're going to be like, oh, my God. It explains everything. It'll explain to you both political parties and their weaponization against our constitutional order. One and done. And then if every delegate watches that, I mean, let's face it. A lot of people talking about, like, how do you make President Trump assassination proof? I can only think of two people.
General Flynn.
And Devin Nunes.
Yeah.
Because they know where the bodies are buried. I mean, he knows it more, but
Right.
Devin Nunes would be a fantastic pick as well.
Oh, right. So, I mean, it makes sense now. It's like, why the hell they raiding his house? You're not just looking for. They're looking for something.
No, they made it sound like he had documents he didn't supposed to have, but he
Like
declassified.
nuclear.
Yeah.
No.
But it was
'Cause it's-
documents he declassified.
It's coming after them.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because it's going after them. He has information on them
Right.
that he declassified as president. He can do that. He didn't do anything wrong.
Let's finish it up.
Man, I'm done.
Yeah, I'm done with this. You ain't. That's gonna mess my stomach up for 2 weeks.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, Ivan, where
You
can,
didn't ask too many questions. I just
Man,
went.
Dude,
I'm not going to ask. Man, I'm ignorant to all this stuff. I was just here to learn.
Yeah. Yeah. And I learned a lot.
I love you guys.
Yeah.
Thank
Obviously,
you.
I've been watching your stuff.
Right. Yeah.
I love that
I never
vibe.
knew somebody like you was watching us.
I had no idea.
Hey, I got range. Range.
You
know?
got a lot of range.
Hey, what can
I
everybody?
grew. Hey,
Yeah.
50 Cent. I got to
Yeah.
give it a little shout out.
Uh-oh. 50 Cent?
So he's from Jamaica, Queens. Okay.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
I used to live in Queens.
Oh, really?
Oh, really?
So Jamaica's not, let's just say, nice territory.
Right.
Right.
But when you walk anywhere with confidence,
Mm-hmm.
like you own the place,
Mm-hmm.
people hesitate, right?
Right.
Because like, man, this guy must be a Fed or a police officer.
Mm-hmm.
Because when you walk with swagger solo in the streets, in the hood,
Mm-hmm.
like, man, I don't know.
Oh, no.
I don't want to.
This dude, like, he walk around like he
You
owned
got to
the
have
place.
the mentality.
Yeah.
So as we collectively walk through the halls of Congress, walk through the RNC convention, walk through the DNC convention, like we own the place, we will own the place and restore our constitutional republic to some semblance of normalcy, which leads me to that second component. I said the first component is how do we get President Trump in? I explained, full stop. That blocks everything that they do. Because what the Supreme Court is they're going to have to decide in favor of the state legislatures. Because even if they, Jamie Raskin passes a bill saying, oh, he's an insurrectionist, January 6th was an insurrection, the Supreme Court has to decide, do we go with what Congress just said? Or do we go with the state legislatures? Keep in mind that the federal government exists because the state legislatures created that federal government. So they have the authority. The state legislatures have the highest authority in our constitutional order because they're the ones that created the federal system and the Constitution. They'll be forced to answer that. Second component, with or without President Trump. I prefer with. We have to motivate every single red county district attorney and sheriff to do what Fannie Willis, to do what Alvin Bragg, Fat Albert, and Chubby Willis,
Yeah, I like that.
to do to the people on this list, Deep State target list, just what they did to Roger Stone with that live stream swatting raid, kidnapping of him, just like they did to Peter Navarro at the airport where they kidnapped him, armed robbery, just like they did to Mike Lindell at a Hardee's parking lot, right? Armed robbery. John Eastman, armed robbery of his device in a parking lot. What else? Armed robbery of House Freedom Caucus chairman previously, Scott Perry. Steve Bannon. How many swattings did take place on Steve Bannon's residence? You know that he lives inside of the U.S. Capitol Police jurisdiction zone? Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I wonder how much involvement did the current Capitol Police Chief, Thomas Manger, have in those swattings, or the concurrent jurisdiction authority, D.C. Metro Police. I got everybody's name. I got everybody's number, address, and we're going to start going to town on them. Peacefully for us, legally, morally, and ethically, using their own precedent.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So at the presidential level, I explain it. At the local, county, and state level, think Ken Paxton, Attorney General, Texas, Chris Kobach maybe in Kansas, Missouri, Louisiana. Imagine Elon Musk releases the mother of all Twitter files, which is the Fauci files, and he goes through the list of my deep state target list of 350 people. There's over 100 of them that have a Twitter account.
Yeah, and that
Can you imagine pulling out all their direct messages, their internal communications?
Yeah.
And then having somebody like me do the link analysis with Michael Schellenberger and Matt Taibbi.
Slow and methodically. Death.
And then publishing that for the entire world to see and hear. That's why you're hearing Andy McCabe on MSLSD squirming. Oh, my colleagues at the FB Lie are considering what's going to happen. We're going to have to flee the country. We're going to come you no matter where you are on this planet.
Right.
You will face retribution. I personally guarantee it.
Yeah, that's your
I mean it.
title on Twitter.
I personally
Secretary
guarantee
of
it.
Retribution.
It's not a position. It's not a position of title. It's a position of action.
Yeah, right.
It's basically coordinating. And I'm going to have a meeting in a little bit that's going to make their heads explode.
We the people.
I'll post it up on X.
You modern day George Washington.
Oh, hold on. He's a little too light-skinned for me. But he's a cool dude. He's a cool dude.
Right, yeah.
Speaking of General George Washington, I'm going to say this. This dude right here is going to go down as the most consequential general in America's history after George Washington in the arc of our 248 years. I was born on Leap Day, February 29th.
I hope so.
76. Bicentennial, baby.
76.
Yeah, you got
74?
75.
74.
74?
Yeah, 74 actually.
Damn. I can't be relying on wikis.
Yeah, it's off. They say we're born in 75.
Damn. You hear that, America?
Yeah. They say we was born in 75, right?
Wikipedia is off.
Yeah. We got it wrong.
Wait, what day were you born?
The same
17th.
day.
The
September
17th.
Okay, I
It was
still
the
got
wrong
you on
year.
Constitution Day.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
You better read up
Still.
on that. That's your day.
I know.
So on September 17th, 3/4 of the state legislatures ratified the U.S. Constitution.
Yeah.
And that was the day New Hampshire kicked it in high gear. Speaking of New Hampshire, since we're closing, I'm going to give a shout out. So our scum are not only at the federal level that are on this deep state target list. They're down at the state level. Remember those folks that participated in the electoral heist of 2020? Brian Kemp, Georgia?
Yeah.
Man, we're hitting Georgia hard on this episode. Brad Raffensperger, Secretary of State down in Georgia? Yeah? Yeah.
Yeah.
Doug Ducey, Republican, Governor, Arizona?
Wow, yeah.
Guess who else? What about New Hampshire?
Yeah.
Chris Sununu?
You knew.
There it is. Christopher Sununu. So this is what they do when they can't get their way with digital censorship. They come after us physically. So they're setting our precedents. So Chris Sununu was holding a meeting in New Hampshire where you had a mom with her 4-year-old son and the dad, and let's just say 9 people total at an executive council meeting where they were deciding on voting whether to accept the Fauci CDC money in order to put face toilets on children and force inject them and then promote the bodily mutilation in their public schools. So these 9 people decide, you know what? Yeah, we don't like that. We're going to go ahead and silently stand up and face our backs to the meeting members. That was the executive council, 5 people, and the governor, Republican. Guess what that governor did? He arrested them.
Yeah.
Silent. It wasn't, not a peep. It's on video. That governor's name is Chris Sununu. Executive council members, Joseph Kenney, Cindy Warmington, Janet Stevens, Theodore Gatsis, David Wheeler. And the U.S. state troopers that participated in the physical arrest, Potenza, DeLuca, and Livingston. We're focusing on the deep state at the federal level and at the state level. But that's not the end-all, be-all list. I got a list, and it grows as we research further and further, and we're coming for them. So these individuals are going to face consequences for violating the First, Fourth, Fifth Amendment rights of Frank Staples, Teresa Cornell, Bastarash, and kids, A.J. Todd, Marilyn Todd, her son Dean, John Schmidt, Kathleen Mitchell Bussiere, Monica Holm, Emily Spiller with her newborn, and James Stewart. So men that are listening, get the fuck off the couch and start coming after these fucking scum.
Yeah.
I'm going to do it without you, but it would help if you fucking get off the couch. Let's fucking roll against these motherfuckers.
Yeah, man. Yeah, everybody do that part. Don't lot. I mean, you did a majority of the work for us. All we have to do is follow your orders and watch that movie. Yeah. Yeah. You don't have to do it by yourself. We already got a leader.
You guys.
Yeah. Well, I'm definitely.
Ready? Wonder Twins will activate?
Yeah.
Did they get spicy?
Yeah, it got spicy.
I'm hungry.
Hey, Ivan, where can everybody find you?
Right here. I'm here with the Hodgetwins, baby.
Yeah.
You said this was spicy? Man.
That's spicy to be,
spicy.
man.
You can find me on X.
Yeah.
Ivan Raiklin. Substack.
Yeah.
Slide that in.
Yeah.
I'm on the free speech platforms.
Yeah. Rumble,
Gab, Locals, Clout Hub. What else we got?
That's about it, ain't it?
Where's my business card? Didn't I give you one?
Yeah. It's right here.
Yeah.
I put all the links to your social media in the description of this
right on
video. Here it is.
What you got at the bottom? Were you blind on me too? 50-cent-year-old?
You know, X, Rumble, Twitter. You don't even know those platforms. He knows them.
Let me help y'all out.
Yeah. Locals.
Man, y'all ancient. Local, Substack. Truth. We forgot about Truth.
Yeah, Truth.
Oh,
yeah,
Truth. Getter, right? Getter.
Yeah, Getter.
Gab. Telegram. We forgot about Telegram.
Oh, Telegram. Yeah, you can do anything on Telegram.
No. Yeah, exactly. On Telegram. Not Insta garbage.
Yeah, that is
Telegram.
Right. Yeah. Hey,
That's
man,
all
this
I got.
has been an enlightening experience. Yeah. Man, I learned a lot.
No,
And people
speechless,
watching the podcast, don't get overwhelmed. Just take a little at a time. Yeah. Until you get familiar with all the information.
Bottom line,
Thank you.
we got a deep state, and I know them by
Oh,
name,
yeah.
date, place, and transgression.
And how are we going to do this?
Castrate the deep state and crush the commies.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. No, it was an honor, seriously.
Yo,
Thanks
thank
for
you.
giving me the
Thank you.
runway
Yeah.
to just babble, and it
Oh.
was good. You had the courage to bring me on. A lot of people don't.
Yeah. Yeah.
A lot of people don't have that
Well,
courage.
we bought on Nick Fuentes, so we'll bring anybody on.
Other people, Mike Benz
And a crazy liberal named Destiny who doesn't know what a woman is.
Yeah, you had you said you had RFK. He had
RFK. Yeah.
We gotta get Flynn on though.
Who? Yeah, they.
Bro.
Yeah.
We gotta get
You have
General
to.
Flynn.
Yeah.
I'll make it happen.
Flynn on.
Oh, we getting.
He wants to come on. I talked to him earlier.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yo, he
You want me-
definitely.
you want me to
He can
read it?
definitely come on anytime he wants.
Awesome.
Yeah. I'm gonna go take a piss.
All right.
Yeah, I'm holding my shit too, man.